There we go. Unexpected victorious Tornado Energy.
2016 WGLEU League World Champions.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Wargaming.net League Silver Series promotion. Today we find out which team will be joining us or which team will be staying with us here into Gold Series.
Yeah, we have 4 teams left. We'll see one of those has to make it. 3 of those won't make it. There's some good teams, some returning names. Obviously, Gunrunner's going to be in this one as well. But in the other teams, a lot of recognizable teams/players, obviously, with a lot of ex-Gold League players in there.
Yep. And how could I obviously forget? My name is Ryan Murphy and I'm joined here by Jordi Versamesi. Ektar and De Kilzor, as we're very well known. So let's have a look at the schedule, Daki, and have a look at the matches we're going to be getting played today. Kicking off with Fame. I do believe you know a little bit about those guys.
I have no clue who they are. Infinite Esports, on the other hand, they took 2nd place during the Silver Series. Fame was 3rd. And then there's Gunrunners versus the Wild Bunch. The Wild Bunch playing most of the Silver Series without Phenomenal and Agorni, who we saw in Season 1. But now they have returned to the team once more. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to perform yet again. There's some slight alterations in that roster, but that's more for later. I think in the end, Gunrunners should always make it to the finals. We'll see who makes it between Fame and Infinite.
Yep, Gunrunners and Wild Bunch being here before. Fame, Infinite, they've not got to playoffs. I don't know about anyone. Infinite's got some people that have been in playoffs before. I think they've got Micmac in their team.
Both teams have players that were in Gold League.
Okay, interesting. Any early predictions?
No, we're not doing predictions.
No, you're just totally against predictions now forever.
I'm not doing predictions for the first match.
Not for the first one. Okay, yeah, I suppose you could be accused of a bit of favoritism. You know, being clan commander of Fame and all.
I'm not clan commander.
No, you got demoted now. Are you a recruitment?
I'm a reservist.
Reservist. Okay, that's a good place to be, I guess. Got to maintain your stats still. Okay. Now, Infinite been here before. You know, Infinite haven't been here before.
No, it's a new team with players from Gold Series from previous seasons.
Okay, well, let's have a look. We've got let's have a look. Fame. I'm actually completely lost, Daki. Yes, there we go.
Fame 7v7. Maestora, team captain for this team, also the main leader, with the help from main lead of Mareshka. Those are probably the 2 most crucial players in there, Maestora, Mareshka for Fame 7v7. They have a good bunch of players, though. Probably going to be seeing Raven, Freedom, Creator, Zed, and Cyan, but no use Tarkus. Don't call him Cyan. Everybody knows him under Alpha, which is his name in the game as well. So Alpha it is for that guy. But yeah, main players, Maestora, Mareshka, Creator/Alpha, I'd say, for this team at least.
We had Young come in end of last season, I believe, for
Yeah, but he won't be playing.
He won't be playing as well. Okay. So /GG, that was close to that on, it's not Twitter, so...
It's Facebook.
Facebook is the, so they're on Facebook. That is the official Fame website, yeah? The Fame Facebook page, not just for the esports team.
Should be, yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's some players definitely before. Raven, seen him before from previous season. Zet as well from Legend, I believe. But their opponents, Infinite. Now, Infinite, they do have some players from Gold Series that were here last season. I definitely saw Micmac.
There's a lot more than just that. Racing was in Gold League at one point. Lucky Blast was in Gold League at one point. Micmac was in Gold League at one point. Yamto was also in Gold League at one point. Those players, I'm for sure. So they have 4 players with a lot of experience. So they should be able to put up a good fight at the very least. Or perhaps win if they can bring it home. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close one at least. This first one obviously plays 2 and 3. I don't see this being a whitewash for either team.
Yeah, expecting close matches today. We saw last season when we had the playoffs, we had 3 tiebreakers in a row, and they were very long tiebreakers as well. Every match kind of ran down to the final moments, final minutes, and it was an extremely long day. Everyone kind of expected, it wasn't the team that made it, which was Gunrunners. It was another team everyone expected to go through. Legend, that was it, because they were playing exceptionally well and they just kind of tilted in the final match. But that's then and this is now. Let's have a look at the map picks that the teams have taken today and the order that are going to be played in. Kicking off with Ghost Town and going into Prokhorovka, Murovanka, Runeberg, and a tiebreaker is going to be Ghost Town.
Obviously, Ghost Town being the most individual skill / team skill map. That should be Fame's, I think. Prokhorovka, 1-1 split. I'm not sure about Fame and Murovanka, though. We'll figure that out. But then Runeberg, again, favor Fame a little bit. So I'd say I'd favor Infinite on Murovanka, probably. 1-1 on Prokhorovka, Ghost Town towards Fame as well. And then Runeberg probably 1-1 as well, if you look at it. So Infinite going to have to win Murovanka, I think.
All set going into potential tiebreaker of Ghost Town, which Ghost Town's always going to be interesting to see what we're going to play on. We're still playing, obviously, on the current patch right now. The American region has the new patch right now, so we won't get any exposure to that during our playoffs and stuff like that. But then, when it comes to grand final times, we will be playing on that patch, so that's going to be interesting to see if that shakes up a lot of the tactics the teams play.
We'll see.
How much do you think that the teams here are going to be bringing new stuff to the table?
Not that much, to be honest. Usually Silver Series. They watch the Gold League as well. They have a lot of friends within Gold League, especially the Fame team, so they have a lot of input from those guys. So I think we're going to be seeing very, very similar stuff from what we see in the current Gold League as what we see we're going to be seeing today. At the very least, I don't think that'd be major, oh my god, this is something new. I think it's going to be pretty standard.
Now, Gunrunners, I know they are the next team, but they didn't have too great a season when they came up. How difficult do you think it is for the teams coming up from the Silver Series to settle into Gold Series?
It's always very difficult because you go from a completely different dynamic. You go to playing a lot more frequent against a lot more better teams. Where in Silver Series, you don't always have to play the best team in the league. You sometimes play a little bit lower, etc. It's a lot different because they have to train a lot more. All in all, it's very hard, and that's why Gunrunners in this qualifier has like 75% chance to win it all still.
Yeah, I mean, the potential's still there. I mean, the teams have to, they only have 2 matches basically, and that's them in the finals. It is rough for always the first team to go out. It's kind of like season finals. If the 4 teams come here, the team that loses the first match just has to sit back and watch how everything else pans out. And that's
well,
them.
They've already played 1 match.
Yeah, yesterday's match is supposed to get to here, but yeah, and that was, did you know the scores for those ones?
Well, Fame won, obviously, against, I don't know what it was, but it was a team
Kebabs, I think, or something?
Yeah, it's based of Turkish players, pretty much, a team consistent from...
No disrespect, that's what the team was called, do apologise.
Against that team, and it was 5-2. Fame lost a round on Ghost Town and lost a round as well on, what was the other map? Himmelsdorf. They lost a round on Ghost Town and Himmelsdorf, and the other one was 5-1 in favor of
Wild Bunch.
The Wild Bunch against No Hard Feelings.
Yep, Gunrunners already maintaining their spot. Well, maintaining their spot. They are playing to survive into Gold Series. They came last place Gold Series, so they automatically go in. Effectively, what's a relegation battle for them. But let's have a look at the lineups here for the first round and see which vehicles are going to be brought here on Ghost Town. Multiple Mows.
Fairly standard lineup between both these teams. Infinite choosing to go for triple mouse. Double 113 is sometimes a little bit, weak, but we'll see how they can make it work, because obviously that heat works very well against the mouses. Fame, on the other hand, bringing 4 mouse, a T57 and a Batshot. I'd say that is pretty much that standard lineup on the attack, which we have seen used over and over by Gold League teams, which is usually control in the middle.
Well, let's find out and see how this one's going to go. We're ready to go in the first map. It's Ghost Town.
Ghost Town. The first absolutely symmetrical map, made especially for 7 versus 7 games. The teams start the battle on opposite sides. There are numerous ways to attack here. One of the bases is located in the central square, the other one at the top of the city. The hardest battles are usually fought for the top base, and this calls for the use of heavy tanks. Sometimes the teams choose fast tanks for spotting and base capturing.
Okay, and right into the action here, we see viewpoint of Fame on the blue side, attacking, Infinite Esports, red side defending. The teams don't have set camos because, well, in Silver Series, teams don't have their own camos like in Gold Series.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean the camos are that bad. A lot of diversity here. Even some flags and inscriptions, which you usually don't see. It's always funny to see some players with some inscriptions. But standard opening from Fame as predicted. It's middle control split. It basically means they're holding everything from 6 line to 0 line. And starting to push up everywhere as well, taking some control with those mouses, getting those angles. Creator is going to be playing in K5, K6. There's a little bit of a bush there where you can spot out the 1 line in case of Infinite Batcha being there, but they don't have one of those. So Infinite here is going to be grouping a lot. They're going to be counting on no rotations because they don't have a Batcha. They're going to be counting that wherever they need to go, they can make it within 20, 30 seconds because they don't have anybody that is quicker than that. So they're all really centered around that number 1 base and very close to the number 2 base, just in case something goes down over there.
At the moment, the only tank spotted there that Infinite could see was Raven of Fame. Slow start at the moment, no need for any team rushing, meaning we're not going to get rushing in Mouses. And yeah, an interesting thing, this is definitely something that always confused me previously in the last time we had playoffs, is it seems to be that the camos on Ghost Town are not limited by the weather effect, if you like, of the map. It's not classed as a summer or spring map. Because that mouse that Raven's in is definitely a summer camo. And yet if you look at Cyan's one, that's a desert camo.
Well, Fame now is going to go for the play with triple mouse going in towards the cap. But Racing there should be able to get pretty easy resets. So I don't think this can be the end play because those mouses from Infinite will also come from the side and then they'll get caught in a crossfire. Yes, they're sending Freedom and Creator around. I just don't know if it's going to be enough because Racing is already actually backing off. So he doesn't choose to fight and he actually hits that on the move as well.
Reska taking a shot there as he pops around the corner as Racing also takes a return hit. Now, sadly, we don't have the reload timers working fully at the moment for the UI, so we're going to have to just go on what we see here as Racing continues to take another shot there as he carries on round the corner. Now, these triple mouse are sitting in the cap as Raven's now trading with Yamto. Lucky Blast going to come around the corner and try and get cross shots into Raven. Raven's going to have to decide which direction he wants to shoot at. Lucky Blast could take all the time in the world to take that shot. He doesn't actually do it. But look at this. Pulseo's running into the cap circle in RU251. Trying to just act as a distraction. Doing a huge amount of damage for that. Infinite Esports taking damage across the board here. Micmac and Zimja are the only 2 tanks not damaged yet as we see Racing dropping and Fame looking complete control here. Although Maraska does drop there.
Yeah, but Fame is still very, very far ahead. Yamto is going to go down here any second as well. Those 113s are just not doing enough against those 4 mouses from Fame. And the T-57 already got some clips off as well. And I do believe this is the first round. Very, very convincing win coming out.
Mastora there picking up a kill for his team as Freedom then gets a kill on Pusar. Freedom also gets a double kill now as he picks up Passio as well. Micmac continuing to do damage in his 50B, but he's now being focused as well. Zimja caught between Cyan and Mastora. Mastora now picks up the double kill. It's 2 kills for him. Only 2 tanks left, and this looks like GG. It's going to be round 1 to Fame.
Yeah, this one is over. Just 2 tanks remaining for Infinite. And Fame there doing the correct rotations. Freedom coming from the side and Creator as well as they do pick it up. Creator and Freedom coming from the side. Racing tried to run away. He got clipped out by the T-57 as you could see on the screen. He dropped around 1,000 HP, so took like 3 shots from the T-57, which was very well. And then Creator came from the side. Racing running away there, kind of arguably the wrong decision because they suicided the RU251 and then to get the decap, which is always like a little bit of a waste. And they were forced into an overreaction they weren't willing to take. Racing died because Creator pushed on his side, just killed him with the bat shot, and after that it was already over.
Yep, so exact start that Fame wanted to have here.
Well, it's Ghost Town. Attack is always going to be favored on Ghost Town.
Yeah, I mean, attack kind of dictates the pace really in Ghost Town, doesn't it? It's not really something that the
They can
defensive
usually
team...
take a heavier lineup as well because they don't need to go for those rotations. So you could see they had 4 mouses, a T-57 and a Batcha, which is arguably a better DPM lineup than what Infinite provided with double 113 and 50B as well, because 50B has longer reload and 57 has longer interclip than 57. So all in all, Infinite needed to get the early damage to get ahead, and they didn't.
But will they be able to bring it back for round 2 or not? That's going to be the interesting thing. Is Ghost Town going to be a 1-1 map, or is Ghost Town going to be a map that gives Fame an early lead? let's have a look at the stats and see where the damage came from in that round. Who came out on top for Fame? 5 players actually all coming out on top there for Fame, with the Raven being number 1.
Yeah, Raven had a very good position though. He was there on that little ramp on the southeast, and to kill him you need to send 2 tanks for him, and they needed to reset at the same time, so he got a lot of damage out for tanks trying to push towards him, tanks trying to reset, etc. Freedom as well got a free clip on towards racing to begin with, and then the Mouses on the cap obviously doing the most damage because they were in the fight for the longest time. Mareshka doing 0 damage though, and I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one leading the push at the front. I guess he was just a punching bag, being the front tank. Maybe had some deflection or something. Only fired out 2 shots, so I guess just wasn't really in the position to be able to get shots back. Them's the breaks.
Yeah, but on the attack, I mean, I did say this map was more favored towards Fame, obviously, but Infinite could still pick it up. Maybe. We'll have to see.
Yep, well, let's have a look at the lineups for round 2 and see exactly what's going to happen here.
Well, no surprise that Infinite now is with the heavier lineup over Fame. 4 Mouses, 113, a Bat, a Rue. Fame with 3 Mouses, 113, T57, Batcha. A little bit more all-rounder lineup. For Fame, it will all depend, as per usual, on the T57 heavy tank. He needs to get 3 clips out for them to effectively win a fight against Mouses, because once Infinite starts trading, unless their players don't hit their shots, they're going to just win the trades.
So we're starting off here. Infinite Esports are going to be attacking from red side. Fame are going to be defending on the blue side. Again, for people just tuning in, we don't have camos on the teams, but the teams are going to be using default camos in the game, so you can see all the different variations that we have here.
Obviously, Infinite is probably going to go for a similar sort of start as Fame did, which is split around the 6-0 line, which gives you all the control you want. After that, you can make your move onto number 2 base, usually, but they do have that 1-1-3, so if they feel like it, they could still go in towards that number 1 base. It's not super effective because the 1-1-3 is obviously penetratable in the turret, but give the attacker enough freedom and they will gladly create an opening over there.
Freedom getting a shot there, just missing Posio in the RU-251. Is it Posio or Pocchio? Posio? What do you think?
I don't think.
Answers a lot of questions.
I don't
Decky.
even think that you noticed what I did before in the last 30 seconds.
No.
It wasn't just a lucky blast, Ryan. I was racing through it.
Now, let's see. Cyan, Marska. I mean, it's again, you've got the spread from Fame here. It's quite well spread from north to south. Creator and Freedom quite far down there on their own.
It's the same for both these teams. They're kind of split up, and Infinite has decided to rotate because that RU spotted the T57. He also spotted the Batshach, which is playing, Creator is playing very close to the corner, which usually is a sign of, you know, you don't put a Batshot that close to the corner without him being supported. And Freedom is there. Mastura is also within like 10, 15 seconds of rotation. What I do like here is what Infinite is doing. They can get onto that number 1 cap and block it off very effectively. We've seen something similar being done from Oops. If the people remember, they put double mouse on there with an RU-251 and they only got resetted because of some bad positioning by the Mouses. I talked with Insane about it. And normally, the RU is very safe. So now these Mouses are either going to do one of 2 things. They're going to push straight through that hole there where Alpha and Mareshka are playing and try to catch them in a crossfire, or they're going to go onto the cap.
Looks like 2 to Death Alley and 2 to the cap.
Well, they can also just split, you know, they can put 2 guys up and then 2 guys come around the corner and pincer Alpha from 2 sides, because Zed is not going to do much against them in an RU.
Zed's choosing to just back away at this particular time as well, so Yamto pushing up there, Racing goes onto cap, Pulso goes in behind him to hide, exactly as you said, Zerdaki and Micmac as well, so it's a triple cap trying to shield the RU and the Batchat there with just the Mouse blocking him on the corner. Yamto ready to cut in. When Saijin comes around the corner here, this might work.
It might, because Alpha is now going to be forced to trade to come around the corner to get the reset, and Yamto is going to be happy just poking, trading every single time, and somebody else, either Alpha has to go for it, because if Zed can't find the reset, they're going to have to go around the corner, and this is going to cost them a lot of HP.
There's a wraparound coming around the back as well. We're down to 17 seconds on the cap circle. They need to get some crossfire shots, so Creator gets himself into position. Reset come back in, tanks are moving off the cap circle. Micmac being focused in the back here from Kratos. This is great crossfire. They're going to try and push around, get overmatch onto Cyanogen, but they're taking a lot of damage in return for doing that. I mean, Micmac could potentially drop here if he gets one more shot. He doesn't, and it's Posio actually that gets the kill there on Cyanogen.
The big issue right now for Famous Creator is a tank with a lot of HP, very far out of the fight. Lucky Blast does go down, but now Infinite needs to make the correct trades, and they're focusing out player by player, and that's a big issue for Fame. If Raven now goes down, that's gone in the game. We talk about all the time. I think it's actually going very well for Infinite. They just need to take down 1 or 2 more players.
Raven goes down there, but right after that, Infinite will lose a tank as well. We are on 5 versus 5 at the moment. The RUs are still in the game as well, so it's scouts. I mean, Yamto could be getting dropped in a minute, but Krator actually gets a kill on Posio. I mean, it's still, I would say, advantage still going with Fame at the moment, but they need to start focusing their shots. This Krator now gets a double kill. He's focusing out now on Purser as well, and this is going great, actually, for the bat chat.
Yeah, I think Fame actually is starting to pull this back, especially because of Freedom and Creator. Creator coming in, killing 2 guys, killing the RU, killing the Mouse, and now Freedom clipping out again. It is that T57 we talked about in the beginning that is making the difference at this point.
Zet gets a kill there onto Racing. Pusher wants to push around here onto Mastora and onto, sorry, Mastora, yep, and onto Freedom. He's going to trade a shot for that though as the shot comes back out. Now he's dropped down to 39 health. Freedom's going to want to come around and finish him off. Micmac guesses on a reload at the moment as Pusher does get his triple kill. Now Creator gets his triple kill. He's going to hunt down Micmac, and this is going to be 2-0 for Fame.
Yeah, I really thought Infinite had an opening there. Very quick flank though from Creator, didn't even see that coming. He went all the way to D0. Obviously the cap got abandoned at that point. They did trade a lot of HP for it. Infinite had a little bit of an opening there to win it, but they got kind of caught in between too many crossfires from 3 sides really from the Fame players. And yeah, good shooting from Fame, good individual positioning as well, and especially Creator and Freedom doing very well. Creator picking up 3 kills there as well. Freedom doing, I think, is what, a ton of damage, so not bad plays whatsoever.
And I was going to say good from Zet to preserve his health, give it a little bit away at the end. Creator getting multi-kill there, so I think that was at least 4 kills he's got himself. Very nicely
4.
done, and exactly what you want the bat chat to do in Ghost Town when you're bringing it.
Yeah, very quick flank there from Creator, very, very, very well. He was actually really super quick on that flank. But yeah, individual good shooting, individually good positioning as well. Just trading very well, and T57 and Creator, honestly, crucial factor. Even if Creator didn't do that much damage, which he might not have done, picking up those kills is super important because it allows the Mouses to do more alpha on towards other tanks. Every shot that he picks somebody up with it is worth it because he's a clipper anyways, and the Mouses can just continue to do their DPM, can continue to do the alpha.
It's always good as well because simply, like you said, taking a gun out of the game, guns in the game, generally what's always wins fights at the end of the day. Let's have a look at the stats and see where the damage came from in that round. Pusor actually doing top damage there on the Mouse. 3 kills as well.
Pusor is the one that survived till the end though. And then Mastura in the 1-1-3, very, very good shooting. 12 shots, 3.5k damage. That is, well, it's not 100% accuracy, but it's very well. Freedom there, 3.3, T57, super important. Mareshka, Raven. Zed actually super crucial in this game. 2.3k damage. His timing to get on that climb was like, literally, it couldn't be any better because the moment he went on the climb was the moment he went onto the cap. It couldn't have been any better for him.
And like I said, he preserved all his HP as well at the very end. It was only when he took the shots off the bat chat. So he's doing really good vulture play in that 2-5-1.
And then Creator, like we said, he might not have done the most amount of damage, but those 4 kills, super important by him. Like, really super important. And then Alpha in the Mouse, obviously, he's not going to do a lot of damage because he was the sacrificial lamb actually here in this case, because like he has to spot the cap, he has to try and make a reset, and I think it was Yamto on the corner that had no problem whatsoever with trying to block him, trying to trade with him. So, I mean, not much to be done for him.
Yep, great start here for Fame, 2-0 up.
I did predict this exactly, to be honest. And I predict that Prokhorovka is going to be a 1-1 map. Because
Okay.
it generally is a 1-1 map.
Okay. I'm not going to do any bow tie bets. I'm not going to. Well, we don't have the grand final, so technically I think there's something else we might stream before it. But I'm not going to wear a bow tie for it. I don't think. I don't feel like gambling against you, Dake. I'm not brave enough.
Shouldn't. Not going to win anyways.
Let's have a look at the lineups for map number 2 here. We're going to be playing on Prokhorovka, as Daki said. Double S-Tank coming out there for Infinite. And we're getting an E50M coming out from Fame.
Pretty standard lineup from Infinite. Question usually is between IS-7 and 113. Only thing you're kind of missing there is a mouse to make it super standard, where most teams play with a 113 and a mouse. They chose to go for triple bats. That's a little bit more rotation. Obviously, Fame, Object 263, 3 bats, a 113, and E50. 263, very good for 1-2 line push because of the HD model. It became a lot more bouncy. The gun mantlet got moved back, which was the weak spot. It is still a weak spot, but it got significantly harder to actually hit.
I was just going to ask you that very vehicle, actually, why that over, for example, an S-Tank we see a lot of attacking teams take as well.
And Object 263 doesn't obviously need to go into siege mode. Then E50M, because of good accuracy, also heat ammunition, which can pen STRVs reliably every single time. 113, same story, and obviously bad shots for rotational purposes.
It's getting a bit of a revival with the E50M since the latest update. Is that generally because of the usage more of things like the S-Tank?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's jump into Prokhorovka here. It's currently 2-0 Fame. Can he make it 3-0? Let's find out.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
And here we go right into the action. So Fame are going to be in the blue side attacking, and it's going to be Infinite on the red side defending. Fame standing out here going to the right hand side, and it looks like Infinite are generally all going to the left hand side down the 1-2 line.
Yeah, kind of, but they're sending double STRV towards the 6-7 line. Now this is something kind of unusual, especially because they're already going aggressive towards the 1-2 as well, and Fame is going to go all towards 8-9 line, and it's going to be dependent on how much can these STRVs do, how long can they hold out, and how quick will the rotation from Infinite be. And if Zmia keeps driving all the way up, I think he's going to be catched out.
He's going to be in a really bad place at the moment. He is hugging that red line, turning around. Backed off slightly, the tank goes just as fast in reverse as it does forward. Racing's running away. I'm guessing he's perhaps spotted at the moment. There is shots coming out at the moment. You can see the puffs of smoke from each tank. Creator shooting Freedom, taking a hit there, 367. Perhaps from Lucky Blast there on the back line. He's managed to get away safely over the rails, but Zimja is in a terrible place right now.
Well, Lucky Blast actually relocated over here because now he can cover the other STRV over the rails, can shoot them, but the rotations need to come out from Infinite because they have spotted most of the times and they're still very reluctant to go and clear out that side. I mean, Fame did miss way too many shots on Racing. Honestly, he should have been 300 HP or dead even, you could say, because there was like 7-8 misses we could see on the screen. It's just not good enough, now I feel like they're kind of in a little bit of an issue because they have no map control left. They have nowhere they can really push. They can't really push out the STRV. Zed can't really do much against him either because if he's going to shoot, he's going to die for it because the STRV will give him 2 shots in return. The I-7 is holding here, and just the RU is spotting in the south. So Infinite is just, like, okay, you want to play like this, and then go ahead. We will just sit here. We have everything spotted. We are not overcommitting anywhere, and we can control everything. And as soon as they will counter push anything across the K line, the RU will spot it. They will run away, and they can just rotate very, very, very easy.
Yep, whilst Zimja didn't get away there, you pretty much have to trip up over him before you spot him if he doesn't shoot from that position because there's so much foliage in that corner. He has the Batchat and he has the other S-Tank covering him, so yeah, I think Zet can't really do anything from where he is now, so they're down their scout. They can't use the scout for anything, and everything's going to have to come here either in a push over the middle, or it looks like they're trying to gather up something down at K8, K9, and perhaps go over the bottom of the rails.
question is only if the S-Tank is actually spotted or not, because it doesn't 100% look like it. This might just be blind fire. We're obviously not sure if Zed Burma spotted the STRV or not. I don't think he did, to be honest, but I'm not sure if I like this rotation super much. They're going back towards the 0 line, and I just feel like there's no opening there in the defense of Infinite where they'll be able to make a significant amount of damage. Even if they take down this STRV, I think they will trade way too much to make it worth it, because they have to send pretty much either the 113 and the E50 down the 6-7 line or the 2 bad shots around him to try and flank him. And if they do that, it's going to take a lot of damage for that.
We've seen from the past matches where we've seen Nexus and an S-Tank showing just how much shots that thing can take before you can put it down.
Right now, this is an ideal situation for Infinite to really Busor just holding the middle. Yamto actually getting some shots from the side. There was a really, really nice connection by the bad shot.
Zet's taking shots.
But they're going now. Fame's going.
Zet took a couple of shots there as the bat shots of Fame push in. Looks like they want to take down Zimja. Zet's down to a 1 shot now. He's taking quite a few hits there to get spots for his team as the rest of Fame push up now. Lucky Blast does get the kill onto Zet. And look at this. Mareska's getting shots into Zimja, as is Crater now as well. He's going down so quickly. So that is a light for a TD. What are Fame going to do from this position now?
Well, it's still... They did actually clean up that guy a lot quicker than I expected they could, and they might just force another commitment here on towards racing.
Looking like they're potentially thinking of YOLOing over the rails there. Mastora coming down in Object 263 from the hill. We can see Raven taking another shot there in the middle. Driving into the cap circle. It wasn't an actual cap bait there, just happened to be moving through it. And yes, this is a difficult position here at the moment.
It's a difficult position for both these teams, but they're going up and over.
Oh, look at the damage there on Mareska as he pushed over first, got focus fired there. They do take Batchat for Batchat, but Crater's now in a horrible position. He's going to go down straight away. A couple of damage goes out to Micmac as well, and that trade was not in Fame's favour whatsoever.
No, this was not a trade they could make even at this point in time because of Lucky Blast and his STRV. He was still positioned up there. Now Freedom is going to try and do some damage towards Spooster perhaps, but honestly they've already traded way too much to make this worth it. And if Freedom clips out, then we might see a counter push from Infinite at one point. But I don't know what this Rue is doing here though.
Mastora chasing him, 1,057 damage there. He might kill himself coming off the cliff. No, he does take a little bit more damage, but survives on 8 health. He is pretty much a non-factor now. I was going to worry if, or wonder if Fame were going to push the middle at the same time when he pushed the top, but they didn't. And now perhaps they do have an overmatch here.
They need to use Mastora and his HP in the 263 because he's the only one from the team that can make trades, and I think they have to commit somewhere right now because they're going to keep trading and trading versus Lucky Blast, versus the STRV. It's not going to work out very well. Yes, Freedom is still over there, but with the cover fire from Yamto, they need to somehow use the 263, and this is not great shooting from Freedom.
Freedom trying to get shots into the back of the IS-7. I don't know where those shots are landing, but it looks like only 1 out of 3 hit. He took a lot of damage there himself in return. Yamto from that position where he is for Infinite is causing a truck ton of damage to any tanks in Fame that hang around that middle for too long. As Raven finally picks up the kill here on Posio, and what looked like a strong position from Infinite. Fame are starting to wrestle control back of the kill, and Sayajin actually just gets a double kill.
I have no idea what Infinite is doing right now, as the RU did not need to kill himself there. These bad shots do not need to be here as well. They've just locked themselves down. Mastura and the 263 should now start pushing towards these 2 bad shots, Micmac and Yamto, who are in a bad position. They should group up, Mastura first, go kill them, and game over.
Looks like Mastura's going to sit on the rails, try and get shots with Raven sniping beside him as well. Yamto is spotted, is able to get away without taking damage there. Now, Sayajin's going to be the one pushing here over into Micmac. Micmac misses his shot there on Raven, so he's giving away his position for sure. And he's just going to bulldoze over here, Daki, and jump on him.
Yeah, Mastura first because he has all the HP, and let's see how this goes.
Mastura goes in, goes for the ram kill, which he connects with there. Sayajin's going to push on to Yamto because they know he's down in the bottom corner. Lucky Blast trying to get himself in a position where he can do damage as Raven takes another shot there. It's 2 on 4, and it's looking like Fame, after what looked like a terrible push at the north of the map, is actually going to potentially win this one.
Yeah, but Infinite made a bad decision though throughout this game. I mean, with those bad shots rotating over there, I'm not sure what they were doing. I don't know why they even went south to begin with. They were holding on pretty well as the in the current position. So I don't know. Fame's doing the correct thing though right now. They're slowing it down. They know Lucky Blast might in a position to do something, and Freedom's gonna flank him. Once he does, Lucky Blast will die, and then it's game over.
So GG Fame just getting the pieces into position. There's less than 2 minutes on the clock left, but Mastora still has an absolute mountain of health there to be able to trade and bait as the rest of his team can come over. As Saiyajin actually takes the first hit, gets one back into Yamto. Lucky Blast does get dropped there at the same time. Raven picks up a double kill. Freedom with the double kill, and Fame survive that one with 4 tanks and pick up 3-0 now.
Infinite there, that was really not good. I don't know how you are rotating with 2 bad shots, leaving your only tank that can hold anything versus the 3 tanks from Fame, which is a 263, an E50, and a 113. All 3 of which hold down versus bad shots just absolutely demolish you. So let's send our 2 bad shots somewhere where they can't do anything. And on top of that, let's send our RU somewhere where he can't do anything either, which is just nonsense. And in the meantime, we let Pusor in his IS-7 die. Correct play there from Fame towards the end. I don't know about that Nord counter push though. I don't think that was really worth it. But
Reska got wrecked so quickly going up over that rail.
2 of them instantly went down. But like, that wasn't really that well of a trade. But they made up for it later on because Infinite gave him the openings that you didn't want.
Yeah, definitely. Let them back into it. Yeah, sure. Let's have a look at the stats and see where the damage came from in that round. Jostra, 2.7. Oh, Mojo would say 2.8. I do apologise, Mojo, if you're watching. Then Yamto.
Decent amount of damage from that 263.
1,000 of it was on the RU.
No, the RU took damage off screen. Without Ops mod, the damage does not get recorded.
Ah, okay.
263 can never roll for 1,000. It's 550 with normal ammo. How much would HE be? 750, 850? Maybe with HE he'd roll him for 1,000, but I don't think so.
Oh, no. It looked like I'm just going by the ops mods, guys. If anyone's like, oh, Hector, there's not a damage, right? Just going by what the mod said. Sorry.
I don't think he could roll him for 1,000, but Zed in his RU as well, I did say if he tries to shoot once, he will die. That's exactly what happened. But other than that, racing, the STRV didn't really get to do much. But yeah, if Infinite wanted to hold that eastern side with the STRV, they needed more tanks to hold the counter push from Fame. They needed to have their bad shots in position to hold that area around the little house and make sure that the spotter, the RU, etc. can't make it over there, which they obviously didn't do. So he was in a kind of not so great position for an STRV, and it did cost him.
It looked like at the start, looked like they were going to go all the way, and then they stopped. And then it was ropey, and then you had that fight in the rails, and that was ropey. And then suddenly they were back into it. It was a strange match, actually. Quite a strange round.
Lots of throws, though, from Infinite, to be honest.
Let's have a look then at the lineups for round 2 and see if we're going to get any surprises, or is it going to be fairly business as usual?
Well, double 140 is always a little bit iffy. With this little bit older meta, it's going to be hard to make this work against the mouse, the double STRV and a 113. Purely HP, Fame will be ahead. Also, like these 140s will have to trade on long range with mouse, which is not really the best of things. I don't know. This should be Fame's round looking at it.
It's going to be an interesting lineup. From the bottom 3, it's mirrored. The top 2, it's mirrored. But then in the middle, 3 totally different tanks. Well, 2 different tanks, actually. My bad. Let's jump into the action then. Prokhorovka here, round 2. Fame on the blue side defending. Infinite on the red side attacking. Infinite splitting their team, sending some out to the 1-2 line, sending some up to the town. And Fame generally setting out their stall to the right-hand side of the map.
Just a general start coming out from Fame. They're leaving the mouse, they're leaving the 113 there, and they're sending what is a lot more bad shots towards the eastern side. This is much better. They have double STRV as well. You can see how they're covering them with the bad shots. Mareshka and Freedom are also on that side to make sure that the STRVs can get all the way to A0, which kind of makes that eastern side completely non-usable for Infinite.
Mastora pushing up in the middle here in the 113. But generally you always end up seeing 113 fighting IS-7 most of the time on this map, or any combination of those 2 tanks going against each other. But he has nobody to brawl with here.
That's because Infinite doesn't actually have really tanks that can contest him. And they're going to go for a 1-2 line counter push probably, but the timing of that is very readable by Fame as well. They're already going to start relocating an STRV, double bat shots. I just feel like Infinite is very, very far behind in this game right now. In this round, at least, Zed already took zero line control. They have one corner of the map. Fame knows exactly what is the next move going to be most likely for them. If they push 1-2 line, it's a done game, honestly.
And the thing is they're gathering up exactly for that. What's going to be the lead tank here? 113, Yamto?
Obviously 1-1-3. Unless Fame makes a disastrous mistake and loses a bat shot for free, Alpha should be able to farm a ton of damage before they even come close, and then Mashtora will be there really quickly as well. Only thing I can judge right now is the fact that Creator is a little bit too far away from my liking in that mouse. Because they have Zed on top of the hill, he will spot out anything coming towards the south anyways, and there we go. He's moving as he doesn't need to be that far away.
Moving ever so slowly across the map, getting ready for this push, and there goes the push. If you look at the minimap, you can see the red tanks moving up in a nice little line. It's the STRV is going to be the front tank here, and we're going to get a hell of a fight in just a second once we get through the second tree line here.
STRV can't pen STRV unless you hit the cupola, so that's a good pick for that. But it depends if the batchas have heat loaded. If they do, they will shred through this STRV rather quickly.
It's also interesting because he can't shoot, so he has to stop and then put himself into siege mode. So how far is he going to go before he decides to stop, and how many of the tanks are going to crash into the back of them? They're in the pocket, they're in the area where they're going to get shot at the moment. Well, let's see how they go. Maheska's the one going to be focused fire here, right in the firing line. There's so many tanks come into him. He goes down, Lucky Blast getting the kill on him. Zimjan Return has been focused here for Infinite, but Fame doesn't really have the guns ready to deal with this. Saiyajin is going to get surrounded here as well. Pusor's going to go around the side of him. Micmac's going around the side of him as well, as Lucky Blast is continuing to shoot into him. And Fame, whilst they predicted it, Daki, it doesn't look like they were ready for it.
No, not really. Those batchas, like I said, if they get caught out of position, then it's going to be bad for them. It did seem like they got really caught out of position whatsoever. I mean, Marechka just went down. I don't know if they didn't see them on time or what happened there, but Raven, nice shot though, picking up that 140, which really shouldn't go down now. It's not over just yet. It's actually kind of even, because Yamto will go down here.
It's not over yet at all. I mean, they actually just seen Mouse there picking up a kill by a tank, driving into him and killing himself. Now, what's going on here is that Raven still has a huge amount of HP to be able to deal with here. He has a great firing position if his team can spot out for them. But look at this. Infinite are gathering up again, and they're going to try and jump onto the two heavy tanks here of Fame in the middle.
That's all they need to do, though. They need to go in. They need to kill Mashtora quickly in the 1-1-3, and then they need to focus out Creator in the mouse. And they need to kick gun advantage. 1 HP for Pusor.
Pusor, he has to be careful, doesn't somebody drive into him, as Mastora is still surviving here. Can he get shot off before he goes down? Looks like Pusor might actually reload before him. He does. That's a double kill for Micmac and a double kill for Creator in the mouse. Lucky Blast and Pusor still alive here. Micmac taking a lot of damage as well. What can Zet do as he's coming in from the back? Zet can pick up kills. Creator actually picks up a triple kill now. He's going to go down swinging here as Lucky Blast is now taking damage on the side from Zet. Again, this could be the ace in the hole here as Zet comes in with the RU-251 with all the HP and can just chip away at the HP of these other tanks.
And he's shooting HP though, that didn't pen, but this round is over. Again, Infinite throwing away a lot of tanks for no reason whatsoever. Creator, 4 kills, yet again, Micmac, the last one standing. It will be 4-0, and they can only blame themselves because they lost tanks for no reason once more.
Creator surviving there on 64 health, and that just shows the versatility there of the mouse and being able to pick him in a map like this where generally you wouldn't expect it to go because it is an open map, and he was right in the thick of it, swinging down, managed to pick up 4 kills in the end. So well played, very well played.
It was a weird play from both teams. Fame didn't really seem that ready for a 1-2 line push. I mean, they needed to do a lot more damage a lot early on if they want to make this work. Usually you see a bat shot at least with the STRV clipping out on anything coming towards them, and an early spot, which they didn't have obviously, and they lost those two. Well, one bat shot very quickly, the STRV quicker as well.
I mean, they were pretty much right on top of
and then Raven managed to kill Raven managed to kill a one-shot 140, which I don't know why the 140 was speaking, but this play with Yamto, You know the Mal. If you expect him to be 1-2 line, then I don't see the reason to suicide a 1-1-3 into that hole when you know the Mouse and the 1-1-3 are going to be close enough. Because if they are 1-2 line, Mouse and 1-1-3 are going to be close. That's a giveaway tying. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the stats for that round. See who came out on top. Lucky Blast and his S-Tank doing almost 3k damage there. 10 shots and 1 kill. Then Mastora, second round he's been up quite high there with the single shooters. Very well done. Zet and the RU251, third top damage.
Yeah, again, a very nice round from Zed. Also, the RU from Infinite was shooting towards the Mouse in the 1-1-3, I think, rather than 1v1ing Zed. Usually the RU is supposed to win that trade, no matter what HP he's on. He was on 700. He could get at least 1 or 2 shots on Zed before he came close, could even load H3. Even the fight, so Zed would not be able to do that amount of damage. But the STRVs from Fame both doing really well, actually. 2k Alpha getting 1.8 out before he died. Creator, though, again, 4 kills, really important.
Maresca being the first bat chat focused there on Fame. Couple shots out before he went down. Pulsio, though, I mean, 5 shots, RU251. I mean, I think he just got about dueled by Zet down the bottom as well when a sweep came in from the bottom.
He couldn't duel Zed because he was shooting something else. So Zed gets the first shot and then just needs to do 2 more and he's dead.
But well done, again, from Fame, kind of taking what was a loss back to a win. It looked like 2 rounds that were Infinite's rounds.
Well, it was supposed to be Infinite's rounds, but they did a few things which weren't that good.
Yep. Well, let's have a look at the lineups here going into map number 3. We're going to go to Muravanka, and this is where it could be decided.
Yeah, it could be. Defense coming out from Infinite, 3 bad shots, Mouse, size 4, STRV, MX1390, Fame though, attacking with the FE215B, object for 30. This isn't... They can do anything with this, honestly. It depends on how they feel and if they feel like going towards the number 1 base or the number 2 base. We'll see.
Why the FE215B?
Accurate gun, lots of ammo, can blind shoot a lot, can DPM, can shred through a Mouse, can shred through an IS-4, and an STRV.
Okay, well, let's see if this is going to work. Is it going to be 5-0 Fame? Let's find out as we jump into Muravanka.
Muravanka, a map with a great number of buildings, bushes and trees, amongst which teams hide for most of the battle. The attacking team begins the battle from the top of the village, and the defenders start from the bottom of the map. Both bases are better controlled from the hill near the first base, and from the green in the lower left corner of the map. There are many attack directions. The attacking team often attempts to gain the attention of defenders by putting pressure on the first base, whilst manoeuvring several tanks behind the second base to deliver fire into the defending's flank. Team setups are very diverse, but the players often choose the fastest tanks, even for heavy setups. They could even bring SPGs.
Okay, and into the action here, it is Fame on the blue side attacking, and it is Infinite on the red side defending. And a hugely aggressive push here from Fame, going towards cap number 1, but they're not actually going for the cap. It looks like they're going to go right past it, Daki.
No, they're going to go put triple cap pressure right now already and force Infinite into a reaction. Infinite is putting a lot of eggs towards the eastern side. Bad shots in this case, not eggs, but same thing. And they're going to have to send somebody to reset because 32 seconds, the IS-4 is about 25 seconds out himself. The STRV might be able to poke up and over to get the reset, but I don't know, this round...
Infinite were in no position to deal with this whatsoever. There's no one on the 1 line into position. We're down to 18 seconds. It looks like there's no one lined up here for a reset. It looks like they're going to have to throw in everybody here into the cap circle. It's like Micmac and his Batchats, Daki, coming in behind him are going to be the ones that drive in here, and they're just going to have to throw caution to the wind to try and get resets. 3 seconds, it is going to get a reset, but how much damage are they going to take for it? 0 seconds, is there enough reset time? There wasn't, and they've just been cap rushed. That didn't just happen, did it?
That's interesting.
Well, there we have it.
Let's just say I don't think Infinite was kind of ready for this promotion tournament.
That was quick. That was as by far the quickest cap rush we've seen, and quickest outcome to a potential win of a.
It might be as quick
match.
as the one that Navi did against Kazna crew.
Possibly.
Arguably, it's probably the same. It's probably the same. Like,
Well, I mean,
that's something.
the thing we always have to look at in this situation is the defending team sees it coming. Okay, I mean, I've said this loads of times throughout the season. Okay, like, you think to yourself, do a haphazard reset and we take a lot of damage for it and then lose
Yeah,
the round?
nobody in position to reset.
Yeah. So it's like you either throw caution to the wind and you take a lot of damage and you get the reset, but then you lose the round, or you 100% don't do the reset in time and you're guaranteed to lose the round. So just send somebody in there quicker next time, guys. You have to be ready for that. It happens so many times in this. It's the only bloody map where cap rushes really happen other than Ghost Town, and teams should always be prepared for it. But let's have a look at the damage done, Daki, and see who got the most shots in. Whoa! Great damage there from Freedom. I would never expect to see numbers so high here.
Well, I don't think, even if Infinite's pushed in, I don't think they would have won that round because there would be a lot of crossfire. Pretty much everybody was centered around the cap. The FE would be there as well. Pretty sure it was GG.
I mean, they had it already. Like, before they stopped just before they wanted to peak, and Fame already had tanks waiting. So the first batch already took a huge amount of damage before the rest of them came
It
round.
was over when they had 3 batches from K5.
Wow. Okay, so our first team going into the promotion finals is going to be Fame. Who will face them? It's going to be Gunrunners or the Wild Bunch, which we have coming up.
Gunrunner still.
Gunrunners, you still think? Okay. Well, let's have a look at the post-match stats and see across the entire 5 rounds here who came out on top. And wow, somebody will be really happy about that.
Probably take a screenshot.
Probably take a screenshot.
Hanging above his bed.
Yep. And he can, Freedom coming in second, then Raven coming in third. Well played, Mashdora. Very well played. 2.5 average damage, 3 kills.
I'd say Zed there is more impressive than any of the top 6.
Zet being the scout player for the team. That means he did more damage than somebody else. But I mean, to be fair, that's just going to be, it's Mariska and Crater. Mariska, a lot of time was focused first time. I wouldn't necessarily say it was bad positioning by him, but
7th with that damage is more impressive than the top 6 because he was in an RU251 and there was multiple rounds where he had more than 1.7k damage.
very impressive. And he was the standout player for Legend when he played with Legend in Season 1 as well. He was a top damage dealer. Even when Legend were losing a lot of the time, he was still coming out as top damage dealer. So.
When Legend had the chance to win, he'd also splash himself, knock out his gun.
Them's the breaks. You know, you win some, you lose some. So, Gunrunners, Wild Bunch, both of these teams have been in Gold Series before. Wild Bunch desperate to return, Gunrunners desperate to stay in. They have to win this match between each other, then they have to play against Fame. You think it's going to be Gunrunners?
Yeah, I'm still standing with Gunrunners.
And then Gunrunners Fame, who do you think that will go?
And then we'll see.
Then
We'll
we'll
see
see.
how the
How Gunrunners play?
defining Gunrunners' play is in the next
Yeah,
one.
that's
Then we
true.
can predict that.
That's true. But we're going to have a little break while we get that match set up for you guys, so don't go anywhere and we'll see you soon. and welcome back to the Wargaming.net League Silver Series promotion. We've just saw Fame versus Infinite, with Fame winning 5-0, and now we're going to see Gunrunners versus the Wild Bunch. I am Ektar, Ryan Murphy. Join me here is George Ferris-Messi, also known as the Killzone.
That was a special kind of intro, but it's the way I like it, you know, just quick, snappy. But yeah, so now we've seen Fame dominate over Infinite, who didn't seem ready for this promotion whatsoever, to be honest. Like, gotta say it like it is. Either it was not their day or they didn't prepare well enough for this. Now we're gonna be focusing on the Wild Bunch versus Gunrunners, though. Gunrunners obviously still currently a Gold Series team. Wild Bunch was there last season, made it to the second phase even, but didn't get to do too much there, got relegated. And now are going to be in here, but let's focus on Gunrunners first. Obviously, a lot of these people already know these players, but we should look at him one more time. The question today is going to be if Danny is playing.
If Danny is playing or not. I mean, it is effectively a completely unchanged lineup. Gunrunners not bringing in anybody new, not really getting rid of anybody, and yeah, an all-Czech team. One of the two all-Czech teams we have in the league, the other one being, of course,
Isuba.
Isuba, yes.
Gunrunners didn't do that bad last season, to be fair. They had some upsets, they had some surprising victories, but it wasn't enough. They weren't consistent enough. But I think they are good enough to make it through this promotions, though, and keep their spot in Gold Series because of the experience. And at least I was told they were preparing a lot for it.
Yeah, I mean, they played the harder teams in Gold Series. They were able to take down Kaz and the crew. They defeated Ding at one point. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. I think they beat Go Hard as well. They took pretty much all of the top teams. At one point, they did beat them, but they could never get a consistent run. It was never... They were very much played like Isuba sometimes. It was very much if it went against them earlier on in the game, it was that way for the entire match, and they got beaten quite quickly and quite easily. Not a lot of rotation or a lot of flexibility in their team. But their opponents, the Wild Bunch, as you said, they were a team here, been here before in a situation, but they have gone through some slight changes from what we saw before.
Yeah, they've added some players. I don't remember Alco being on there, could be wrong, but Shifted for sure was not on the Wild Bunch when we saw them last time. Phenomenal and Nagorny were not playing with them throughout Silver Series, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure how much I like not playing in Silver Series, then coming back for the promotion.
Just for promotions, yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Arguably,
commitment, loyalty. You know?
Arguably, it could go really against them because they haven't played with them for so long.
Yeah.
So I don't know about it. I'm very iffy about that. I'm not going to make any judgment about it, but it's like...
Yeah, because it can really upset the balance of the team.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing against each other. They know the calls, they know the rotations, know when someone needs help, when they'll ask for it, where they won't ask for it, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it could be very unharmonious for the team. But let's have a look at the maps we'll be playing on today. Will we give it more than 3 maps? It will be interesting. Starting off once again on Ghost Town, then we're going to Runeberg for our second map. Prokhorovka will be our third map, then we're going to Himmelsdorf and Ghost Town. So
I'm not surprised we don't see mines here. Obviously, that was Gunrunner's best map last season. They dominated almost everybody on it, to be fair. They were really, really good on it at one point. So no... mines.
YOLO rushes.
But
yeah.
Ghost Town, again, skill-based map. Runeberg is kind of as well, but also way more tactical than Ghost Town, honestly. Yeah. Ghost Town should be Gunrunners. Runeberg, 1-1. Prokhorovka is like plus, minus. I would have given it to Gunrunners if Danny was playing the RT, for example, who could make a big difference in there, but I don't know now. I think there might not be another 1-1, but then Gunrunners should, again, take Himmelsdorf because it is a very skill-based map as well. Tactics are like standard, you know. There's always the standard tactic, there's the standard rotation, and then it comes down to the reactions at the moment itself, the shooting and the individual positioning and the individual plays.
Yep, 3 city maps and then a more open map as well. So expecting lots of armor on the city maps, not really maps that offer a lot of flexibility and maneuverability, but still we do get the faster tanks being used for rotations on them as well. So not always easy to pick, but I would guess the kind of question is going to be most of the time, how many Maus?
Well, probably like 4 on the attack, 3 on the defense, like we saw in the last match. It's usually pretty standard. You can get away with 5 on the attack as well.
Do you think either team would do the 6 Maus YOLO?
I'm seeing Gunrunners doing something like that. Although if Danny's not playing,
If Danny's not playing, all the tactics, like all the YOLO tactics, are out the window. You know, all the crazy
yeah,
tactics.
because who's going to play the Jagdpanzer?
No double four.
Who's going to shoot the track of a 113 with heat? Who's going to try and aim for the weak spot of a 50B? You know, like
Yeah.
without Danny, all of these kind of things are impossible.
No, Jagdpanzer even hundreds in Ghost Town. It's just all the fun's gone out of Gunrunners. No spicy memes.
Feels bad, man.
It's a shame. It's like
I heard they were very close to being picked as a wildcard team for the grand finals because of their glorious performance throughout the season.
I heard the exact same, but then I heard that there was a complaint logged by the Russian team that they didn't want to go against them because they were just too unpredictable.
Could be. But yeah, no Danny. Maybe he's on a
Danny.
trip.
Maybe he's on a trip. Maybe he's on safari again. Yeah,
Never know, right?
you know,
The rainforest
hunting.
is a big place.
out hunting indeed. Yeah, Danny's been away for quite a while. It's been a prolonged holiday he's been on, sampling the wildlife. I do believe he said was his exact one words.
Perhaps. He's said to have. I'm not going there. No. I'll tell it to you later. You're gonna love
we'll
it.
talk about that one off camera. Folks.
You're gonna love it,
though. Okay, so we're predicting a lot of mouse here in Ghost Town. I guess it's going to be Wild Bunch attacking, with Gunrunners defending. Gunrunners are going to be blue for
It's
this
the other
to make
way.
things easy.
Ryan, it's the
Other way around. Okay, we'll have a look at the lineups and I'll just not be able to read the monitor in front of me. Wild Bunch defending, Gunrunners attacking. What I was going to say is to make things easy, Gunrunners are going to be blue side and they have the blue logo, so we have that going.
So
for us.
Gunrunners on the attack with 3 mouses. Okay, so they decide double T10 is good, is like plus minus as well sometimes. It depends if you can get them in the right position. They obviously have a strong turret, but not invincible. They can be put onto the cap, and they have a decent gun as well. Just usually when they start training with mouses, they usually die rather quickly.
6 mouse, Batchats,
For the Wild Bunch, just again, to be honest, on the T57 heavy tank to do the DPM on towards the mouses. These T10s usually are either for quick rotations or cap pressure. And I feel like with this, Gunrunners is that kind of saying, we want to get into the #1 cap if we can.
Let's find out if that goes that way. Who will take the first round? It'll be Wild Bunch or Gunrunners. We're going to Ghost Town. Here we go, folks, right into the action. Making his return from the wilds, it is Danny Zek in the AMX 50B.
Yeah, with a few more feathers on his, how do you call it? What
Feathers in his cap,
what,
his headdress.
what the Indians have,
Headdress.
you know? Headdress, you
Yep.
know. A little bit more experience, but yeah, obviously, oh, Danny the man. But
Big Chief Danny.
Now-
Very safe tactic here for Gunrunners, considering that Danny's in the lineup.
yeah, very, very interesting. But, you know, they are going to do standard split again, sending the bat towards 0 line. Well, he can either be K5 or 0 line. He's going to be spotting for something aggressive. It is the same from the Wild Bunch. They are just playing very, very standard, just like Gunrunners is right now. As said, the T10s are good to take those hold-on positions as well, which Seago is taking one where you usually put a 1-1-3. Danny trying to trade with Agorni getting the better of him though, but Seago in that T10 is in a hold-on position, and they can use Martin as well later on in another hold-on position, because it is obviously not a 1-1-3, but it can still be pretty effective.
So, team gathering up here from Wild Bunch, all in the northern area, pushing around the D5 area, grouping up together and pushing here, as we see Storm and then Rico pushing through the middle area here.
I don't really like the positioning from the Wild Bunch that much, with Agorni retracting from the one line. This will give this towards Gunrunners, and Gunrunners can then start playing that cap very effectively, to be honest. We know that from H0 you can do damage towards the side of those mouses, and they will be able to play behind the crane, sit almost 100% safe, because they do not hold that E4, E5 position, that ramp area where we always see a mouse, a 113, anything that can peek up and reset the cap. They do not have that. So the Wild Bunch needs to take a lot of positions rather quickly to make this tactic viable, because once Gunrunners gets into the cap, I think it's over.
Gunrunners are rotating very hard here. You generally don't see the attacking team going so far wide like this. unless there's some kind of play going on at the same time. Normally they come in from the right-hand side, then they push into base 2, they push up to base 1, and almost the teams are swapping spawn positions at the moment.
It's still favored Gunrunners here because usually it's harder to play as a defender on the side that you normally never have under control. You never almost have that side. Once the cap gets started, I think this is going to be the game for Gunrunners because of the fact that Ondrax is going to be covering this. They have 2 guys covering that F7 slope area. And if they get somebody behind that crane, nobody from the Wild Bunch will be able to effectively reset. And that's a big issue.
Teams are posturing for that at the moment. See Danny and Unji going back there to just kind of get vision on the right-hand side. They know there's a tank in that corner, so they are going to duel in that area as Unji takes the first hit. Danny's going to have to support him now as well. Dudolino is actually going to get focused at the moment. Agorni is there with him. Agorni gets a kill on Unji. Now, Danny has to be careful here because he already is down a shot. At least in his favour, Agorni has taken some damage. And there's the cap push at the exact same time. Whilst they hold the distraction, the Storm actually just drives through the cap to get himself into position.
Well, they don't need to overcommit right now. Yes, they've lost Unji, but they have the double T10 to make up for that. Danny gave one shot to Agorni, which is very crucial because of the fact that a 50B normally cannot clip a bad shot in one clip. Obviously, 400 damage, 4 shots. It's not enough to kill a bat, but now he gave him that one shot. He can't control him. He can play around there. And now the cap has started. This is a good position from Gunrunners.
Mr. Keller coming round here trying to get shots into Storm, but Martin's actually using his cover to get a little bit defensive there. Mr. Keller repositioning himself, gets one into Storm. There's a crossfire coming in there from Phenomenal on the bottom corners, and Rico's going to move up to duel in against him. L-Train's taking a bit of damage there as well for the Wild Bunch, and this is nice positioning here from Gunrunners.
Yeah, but Ondrax and Seago, Ondrax I think needs to close the distance at one point, and now they need to take down Phenomenal and Mr. Keller. I mean, honestly, Danny needs to come into the fight, and they need to quickly focus out at 113. Storm and Seago are doing the correct thing. They're pushing forwards as well. I mean, Storm and Martin to get an overmatch.
And Rico being focused here at the moment. There is a lot of damage going down as Danny gets the kill on Mr. Keller. Phenomenal is getting shots across there as well. Seagull's taking a huge amount of damage. He's down to 173. Finally gets dropped. Agorni picking up the double kill there as Martin return picks up the kill on Phenomenal. It is 4-5 at the moment. Gun advantage with the Gunrunners, but Wild Bunch are not out yet.
I'd say they are kind of done though, to be honest, because Gunrunners has the positions and they now need to do damage while Agorni in that batch is on reload. They still have the cap going as well. They're going to focus on Valdir in the T57. He's trading with Danny. Danny just needs to hold and wait for some support, which is going to be Martin. And it's going to be another gun down for the side of the Wild Bunch.
Kiki and L-Train here going to focus down into Ondrax, who's still surviving. Ondrax misses his shot, whiffs it right over the top of Kiki, but then you had the tank of Storm in the middle still doing damage. Martin here is going to get shots into Valdir while Valdir's on a reload. Valdir, one more shot and he goes down. Can Martin make it? No, he bounces off the side of Valdir. Danny's just going to drive away here. He's going to leave this to his teammate to finish. Martin's going to show him his rear. He's to make this shot count, Martin.
Well, he should make it count, but Storm's dying in the meantime.
Finally he does, yep.
They're taking a lot of time for this.
Storm's taking a huge amount of damage now outside of the cap suck. We have to back off in the corner to survive. It is 3-2 now, and it looks like Gunrunners might have just thrown this one out the window, Daki.
It's not over just yet because of Danny. He needs to kill Kiki now. There we go. That was clean. That was good by Danny. L-Train is a 3-shot. Agorni is a 4-shot, but he still has Martin to help him. That T10 is a bouncy tank. Danny just needs to make sure not to make bad trades at this point. Honestly, they need to start rotating. They need to draw out Agorni somewhere. Oh, but they're going to go straight for L-Train. I don't know if this is the correct decision because Agorni is reloaded. They need to kill L-Train really, really quickly.
Martin needs to get the kill here and drive past as Agorni's going to get at least one shot into Martin. Danny gets his shot, connects. Martin gets his shot and connects. Now they can turn back onto Agorni and focus him. How many shots Danny has? I don't know. He's got at least 2. He gets one into Agorni. Agorni shoots back. Danny's going to drop off the edge. No, he's blocking into Agorni here, so Martin's going to get shots. Agorni's got nowhere to go. Oh no, he can just drive past him. Now Martin needs to get all the shots in.
Martin should give him Agorni one more if he comes around this corner. If he gets... Yes, there we go. Nice shot from Martin. Good play from Danny as well. Slowing down Agorni by blocking him. Martin now obviously will not be able to get the trade on this, but he is in a really good position because of the fact that he has the more HP. He's a 3-shot. Maybe he can catch Agorni here on the crossing.
I was going to say, Agorni's taking the more dangerous way to pull away there. Oh, Martin misses the shot. Agorni survives, but he is a 1-shot. Martin is a 2-shot. Advantage is with him because he has the armor as well.
Martin is a 3-shot, not a 2-shot.
3-shot, 809, yep. My bad, my bad.
Martin has everything to work with right now because Agorni is a one-shot. He gave him the one that he needed to give. Honestly, Martin, I don't know about this base. It can work. The issue is that Agorni has a lot of angles to peek from. Martin obviously is going to position himself behind the wreck. This covers him at least from 2 sides, kinda. Because obviously you can spot through dead tanks, so that left side corner is viably not possible for Agorni. He needs to come from another angle. The thing for Agorni is he needs to wait. Let's put it like this. Agorni needs to
let the
wait
clock go down.
34 seconds longer. He needs to wait. He needs to make it below 2 minutes, reset. Then Martin cannot win the game by capping. We'll have to chase Agorni around the map, which gives Agorni back the advantage. But the way Agorni is coming right now, he's dead. And if he comes from there as well, it's not a... If he was going to keep driving on that slope, it would not be good either, because Martin has an exact cover towards there. You see the mouse on his left will cover from Agorni's peak over there.
It's unfortunate Danny couldn't get... I mean, he did really good with the positioning he had there, but couldn't like fully block off that area so that Agorni had nowhere to go.
He did more than enough,
Yeah.
honestly. Ooh.
Oh,
Okay, look, Martin spotted him. What does Agorni do now? 45 seconds. Takes 10 seconds to get despotted. He'll have 35 seconds left at that moment in time. And now, really, Martin has this game where he wants it. He does really, because Agorni can flank all the way around, but he will know if he does that. Martin has this in the bag, honestly. He cannot lose this.
Well, the last time me and you had a similar situation, I believe it was Mayland, when we thought it was done and dusted, he's not going to do it. So...
Well, he's repositioned very smartly because, again, he's spotting through the wreck. So Agorni gets spotted out again, and that's it.
That's it.
Agorni now needs to rush on towards the cap. Martin can pick. He can peek, or he can just cap.
Stays where he is. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, just to keep the wreckage between him and Agorni. And there we go. It's going to be a round 1 to Gunrunners, and that was nicely done by their team at the end. They nearly lost it, but able to win that little individual duel at the end, little individual team fight.
You have to imagine, though, Gunrunners had 1 tank down the entire game, which is Unji, which is a Bachat, which is the sole reason why Agorni got to do so much. This is because Unji went down in the beginning of the game. So that gave them 1 more T10, which allowed Agorni to be the only tank with good rotations, which allowed him to do a ton of damage. Like, honestly, I don't know how much he did, but it was insane amount.
I've just had a glance, and
that's what allowed him to do the amount of damage he did. But Gunrunners did the correct overmatches, though. They pushed on towards that 57 in the south, picked him up. And then they pushed on towards Mr. Kella as well, picked him up. Yes, they lost Sigor in return, but Enrico, was it Enrico or Estrinzer? One of the two. Did a lot of damage still in that mouse over there. So they did the
Enrico's in the mouse, did a lot of damage.
They did the correct things. And then Danny, obviously, Danny and Martin timing to push that mouse was like perfect.
Yeah.
Because
Good time,
if Martin was like 3 seconds later, he would have taken 2 shots from the bad shot, and the mouse would have finished him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was he only took 1 driving down, and it was like very well timed, very, very well timed. And that effectively won him the game, because then he had that trade to turn around, and they were able to get the shots.
And Danny obviously blocking Agorni allowed for Martin to make him a 1-shot, which really win him the game, because otherwise Agorni can play it a lot different. He's a 2-shot of HP, he comes around the corner, he spots. So if he spotted Martin then on the cap, he was a 2-shot, he could just drive around the corner, take the first shot, clip him, or just give him 1 shot and run away.
Yeah. Yeah, very tough call. I mean, he was fortunate as well that the wreckages were where they were as well in the cap circle.
You always actually have that on Ghost Town, though. If it's the middle cap fight, there's always going to be 1 or 2 dead tanks on that cap. It's something you have to imagine is going to be there.
Always the potential, always the potential. We're just waiting to see what the damage done there from the teams. I can tell you it's one of the highest damaging rounds I've seen
Might be
from a not heavy tank, for sure.
Might be is it the most damage we've ever seen?
Possibly. We'd have to check. Let's have a look now and see just exactly how much it was. Ridiculous amount of damage.
Yeah, Agorni doing 6k damage there. Very, very well done by him. Luckily, well, I mean, not lucky. Unlucky enough for
4
him.
kills as well.
He didn't save the round for his team.
But, I mean, that also just goes to show that when you have the close city maps, if you have the flexibility of these mediums, and they're allowed to have the freedom.
The thing is, he only had the flexibility because Unchi went down, which is a 1 out of 100 cases where the enemy bad shot kills the other bad shot without losing pretty much any HP.
They shot the RU, he was behind the RU.
Which allowed him to just, for the rest of the game, he could do whatever because he's the bad shot.
Yeah.
If Unchi was alive any moment in time, he needs to keep into account that Unji could come around the corner and just chase him down and kill him.
He got a shot into Danny at the start, and then when he was over beside Dudo,
Yeah, he killed Unji together with Dudo.
they shot Dudo, basically, rather than shooting the Batchat. He must have been like, hey, this is great, I'm out of here, bye, I'll take one shot from the...
Might be the highest damage
and there
we've
we
ever
go.
seen.
I think it is 6k is like huge. I think we've seen 5k for sure from a mouse a couple of times.
We've seen 6k on CIS region, I don't think we've seen it on EU.
I think maybe when some of the mouses have had it and been like brawls have gone right to the wire. At least 5k then for sure.
Yeah, but not above 6.
Will we get it in round 2? Well, let's have a look.
Unlikely.
At we've got the lineups we can have a look at soon. We'll see them. I think it's going to be all mouses again. Will they get the freedom to rotate the bat chats? Is going to be an interesting thing. You know, is it going to be like we just had before? Is it going to be a 5-0 or is it going to be a back and forth with tiebreaker?
Well, at least the first round is closer than the first round in the last match. So I feel like these teams are closer to each other. I just feel like the last match we saw, Fame was just better. And these teams are going to be closer to each other. And then we'll see in the finals. I don't know. I think this could be 1-1, but it should be 2-0 because it's still an individual skill map, which Gunrunners should have more of player by player, except for maybe a Gordian Phenomenal. Gunrunners is better.
And they've both got the experience of playing in Gold Series.
But
So
Gunrunners has experience on the latest meta, though, and
definitely.
Wild Bunch doesn't.
Yep. Let's have a look at the lineups for round 2 here. Now, Wild Bunch going... Oh, they're bringing an E3 with them.
I don't like the E3.
Gunrunners bringing the Udes with them.
Udes can work. I don't like the E3, though, on the attack. It's just such a slow, immobile tank. If they get caught out anywhere, then it's game over because the E3 will never get back towards the fight. Then again, Type 5 from Gunrunners against the E3 could actually work because he can just like chip away from his HP. And then Udes, obviously, we know where the Udes is going to go.
We know where the Udes is going to go for sure. It's going to be in the A line. Just how effective is going to be the big question. Now, Wild Bunch are attacking from the red side. The Gunrunners are defending from the blue side. Watching here as they push in. Valder in the lead tank. They're now here with Gunrunners moving in with the slow mouses. And that big Type 5 heavy as well.
Well, what it's looking like right now towards Stigo. Nice. It's important that he does it on the first try. Also, Shifter is in the lineup, and Dudo is out, for people that want to know. It's going to be a quick cap strat from the Wild Bunch. Shift is already going on the cap. Phenomenal will join that rather quickly as well, and Kiki might as well in his WZ. There we go. So it's 3-man cap, and now the question is, how does Gunrunners plan to reset? Because they just have Stigo, but they have time though, but they need to start moving right now, right here.
To rotate in, push in really quickly. Might just go all in here for the cap circle. We see the rotation from Danny coming around all the way around the back as quickly as he can. Now, Unji and Enrico are the ones pushing forward here. Storm, Martin still coming up behind him with Ondrax as well. Agorni sitting in the town for Wild Bunch, waiting to get that quick TD shot off into someone's face as they come around the corner. Buildings getting destroyed here. We're down to 14 seconds. Enrico and Storm pushing up. There's a shot going there onto Phenomenal, taking 150 damage with the quick reset. L-Train coming around the corner, trying to act as a distraction as Storm and Enrico taking damage. 13 seconds. Danny is almost in position for the crossfire shots, and once that happens, that will be guaranteed resets. 7 seconds. Need to start hitting somebody else as another shot comes in. 12 seconds. Seago is able to get shots now as well, and there's the push in the middle road coming around as well. Argoni's going to get shot into Martin. Danny is actually cutting through the town, and he's going to get crossfire shots at the bottom, Daki.
Danny needs to be careful though. He's going to push very aggressive with his batch, and he might get caught out rather quickly. Udes from Seago needs to stop shooting HE now as well. Mr. Kella taking a lot of damage, but the Gunrunners is doing the correct thing. They're pushing forwards. Martin's going to go down, but Seago will be in position to do damage, and so will be the rest of the lineup. I think this was the right decision from Gunrunners.
Martin is about to go down, but he's able to hold up the rest of his team. Unji has been dropped as well. Now, what can Danny do? What can the rest of the team do as they're coming in? Danny's actually in a dangerous position here. Could be betting a crossfire as Valder's going to come round here in the T57 with a full clip, and Ondrax is going to have to face him down, along with Argorni as well. And this is going to be quite painful for Ondrax here, but these two tanks shooting into him. And well, this is still anyone's game right now.
It is still anybody's game, but keep in mind, Stigo has a lot of the HP for the lineup from Gunrunners, and The Wild Bunch is starting to pull it towards them, to be honest. Like, Seago has all the HP. Everybody else is kind of already dead. Agoni should take down Ondrax, as he does. And now, just Enrico, just Danny, and Seago, it's the Wild Bunch round, sorry.
So Wild Bunch here with 4 tanks surviving. Gunrunners only have 2. It's Danny and Seago. Seago still up on that hill, hidden in the corner. Danny can come round, misses one there on Argoni, and it's Kiki gets up the triple kill. Danny driving right into his guns. Seago, mate, the minute you're spotted, you're going to go down, but how much damage can you do before you go?
I don't know about this. Like, usually what we see always is that there's somebody destroying those houses with HE, and now there was really nobody doing that from the side of Gunrunners, which allowed Shifter to sit in that cap behind the house for so long, and then the heavies were shooting towards Enrico, who took a lot of damage, and then Agoni and Mr. Kella came from the other corner. I just don't feel like Gunrunners was prepared for an all-in from the Wild Bunch, which they've done about 375 times throughout their Gold League career on Ghost Town on the attack. So I'm not sure how you can't be ready for the Wild Bunch making a quick cap attempt. But
Wild Bunch quick caps on Ghost Town is like, you know, it's one of the most
it almost feels like it's the
things.
only thing they do on Ghost Town attack. We drive into the cap. Guess what? They won't expect it if we do it for the 450th time. They won't expect it.
They did it to Ding, for God's sakes, and they were able to cap out as well, which made it even more beautiful.
Gunrunners wasn't ready for it. They didn't destroy the houses well enough. They didn't have tanks in position to reset. Normally the Udas is very capable of resetting, but Seago was also shooting a little bit of HE, which didn't always connect on towards the heavies. And then they knew somebody was behind the house because, you know, obviously 3 tanks on the cap. You see 2 of them, while the last one is behind the house.
Could have been a bit more prepared for that, Gunrunners. After playing Gold Season, you should have seen that one coming. Should have done your homework in Wild Bunch and known that Wild Bunch love a quick cap and love a cap push on Ghost Town. And that's a tiebreaker map as well, so if we get to tiebreaker, and they're going to be quickest.
This was not a super quick round though.
It's not super quick, but if they win the other rounds that are quicker, perhaps
maybe
I would expect if it came to Ghost Town to be ready for that, and then Wild Bunch can do the mind games. Haha, you thought we'd do quick cap, but we're not. Let's have a look at stats in that one, see where the damage came from both teams. Ondrax was top damage there, and Mouse 3.5.
Seago 3.2, which is kind of expected from the Udas when it's a fight like this, but we're missing a lot of Gunrunners players here. I'm kind of curious to see how much Danny did in his bad shot.
I think he maybe only got a clip off.
No, I don't think he did more than 3 shots. So we'll have to see about that. Mr. Kella, L-Train, Kiki, Goni, Valdir all doing good amount of damage. All about hitting where they're supposed to do. And then comes the issue. I didn't think Danny got a lot of his shots out. And honestly, I don't know if he should have driven there because there was 2 guys on the cap. Shifter was behind the building and there was another one on that corner, I think. I think he should have gone to help Martin and who was it? I think it was Enrico. I think he should have come and helped them. If he clipped out on the E3, he could have clipped out the E3 for free, killed him, and I think Martin and Enrico can hold that corner then. Honestly, I feel like that's what he should have done.
I think you see he was going to go all the way around to come in for resets, then at some point he's going, I'm going to have to go into the town and help, and then...
There's no need, though. There's no need. If he went all the way around to the 0 line where we saw Creator go from Fame, he would have done a full clip of damage, probably killed the WZ on the cap, maybe even killed the tier 9 bad shot, and would be full HP. But then again, I don't think it would have changed much. I think he needed to go kill the E3.
Yep, well, unfortunate. Our next map we're going to be going into is Ruinberg. Potential map for cap shenanigans at the top base, but we've not seen that for a little while. We've seen a lot of stuff kind of pushing heavy blocks now and going... A lot of teams actually...
North cap doesn't really work,
going south and fighting in the town area quite a lot of the time now.
North cap doesn't really work anymore. Those cheesy cap strats. A lot of teams now play with Type 5 heavy.
I've yet to see it properly work. The only time I've seen it work is Go Hard Mind Gaming Kazna Crew. And that was a cap rush, effectively.
Tornado Energy won the Champions Rumble with it.
True. 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 Okay, let's look at the lineups and just move swiftly. Yay, okay. Now, yeah, as we expected, a couple of Mouses coming out here. Type 4 heavy, though.
Well, they chose for the double tier 9. Some teams like that T54 for information, going down 0 line at least. make them commit on towards something if you're pushing 0 line. But Object for 30, low profile, can work in A7 like we saw Tornado Energy do with T62A, but can also go down 0 line. He's a very low tank, which will make it harder to shoot at if we see Wild Bunch going with bad shots over there, for example. And then Tire 4, because it can obviously destroy a bad shot or pretty much make him like not existent anymore.
Delete him from existence. So let's find out who's going to take the lead here and go 2-1. Will it be Gunrunners or Wild Bunch? We're going to Runeberg.
Runeberg, a mixed type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the centre square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armoured heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the centre or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
And here we go, Wild Bunch red side attacking, Gunrunners blue side defending. Wild Bunch again have swapped out a player. We see that Alco Hero is now playing and Shifter is no longer in the lineup.
Yeah, a lot of switches for the side of the Wild Bunch, but you know, if it works, it works. And no surprise, Seago in the Type 4 is going to go north, very standard. Storm in the Mouse is going to work the 5-6 line. He just needs to be careful from double commitment. And the Wild Bunch is going with those bat shots as predicted to try and shoot them on the 0 line. We have to see, can Martin survive in the Object for 30?
Phenomenal taking damage here, and Doodle's taking damage in his RU-251. Unji's taking damage now for Gunrunners as well. Gunrunners are able to get the tanks into position. How much damage can they do? Because it looks like they are going to get Martin down into that corner. And it's L-Train's coming up to push him in that area, but Martin, for now, I was going to say he's safe, but that's 2 big hits he's taken. Doesn't have a lot of HP left. What can the rest of Gunrunners do? Because in a minute, he's going to get pushed by L-Train, and nope! He goes down. Argoni gets the kill on him.
Yeah, the Gunrunners doing decent trades there. They did a lot of damage, but they have lost the 0 line, so now L-Train will be able to peek almost freely and do shot after shot. There we go. The first one goes in towards Enrico, so the Wild Bunch doing what they're supposed to do. And now the issue for Gunrunners is they don't have 0 line, and middle is double mouse. So the only commitment they have is on towards that 0 line. They have to, in my opinion, commit on towards it, push Enrico down it, and do a lot of damage to Eltrin if they can, or kill the mouses, but that's going to be super difficult.
Danger as well when you go for the mouses, then they know you're not shooting at you, so they can regain position on the bottom of the map. It is a very strong push here from the Wild Bunch, and look at this as everyone just pushes in together. Lots of damage being done. Danny being focused like crazy, but Valdir's taking a lot of damage for this as well as Danny gets dropped by Agorni, who's now on a double kill. One more shot will kill Valdir if he can get himself safe. Looks like he might actually do it. Now here we can see Storm is just ignoring the 2 tanks behind him to try and get crossfire shots into the team. He does get a kill on Phenomenal, but he's going to have 2 Mouse shooting in the back of him, or Mousen as I believe the term is. Unji now gets a kill on Valdir. Gunners are throwing everything and the kitchen sink here at the Wild Bunch, but I just don't think they have enough right now.
I think they might actually have enough because Dudo is going to go down here towards Enrico. At least he should. When he does, L-Train will be soon to follow because Ondrax and his E4 is not going to let him go anymore. That will be a 750 hit on towards that 113, and then Enrico should finish him, and he's on fire as well.
Great shot there from Ondrax, and a little bit of RNG in his favour to get the fire damage. And now what can Mr. Keller and Alco Hero do for their team?
Well, the thing is, it's an E4. He is going to hit for 750 every time, all the time. And it's the mouse, man. It doesn't really work against an E4 because the E4 has the penetration to just shred through the turret every single time. As I say that, I think Ondrax just missed. I'm not sure though.
Well, you could hear the shot going off, so I think that perhaps happened, yeah. Seago's trying to get up here as quick as he can here, try and get shots into the side, but now Alco Hero's like, oh wait a minute, I don't really want to take a shot in the flank from this thing.
Well, Seago is going to chip away from these mouses as well because he can just trade his HP for 500 damage every time. If he hits the top of the turret, he can obviously splash on towards the engine deck as well.
There's a big hit there into Mr. Keller. Seago misses his shot, a little shake of the turret there in frustration. Enrico's looking to get crossfire shots here as well into Mr. Keller, back and forward. There's the first hit into Seago. That's HP he can afford to drop. Mr. Keller getting hit in the crossfire there. Enrico getting a shot into him. Now Ondrax is going to make the move and try and come all the way around him. He does have a bit of turret rotation with the E4, but not 100% as Enrico continues to get shots into Mr. Keller. I mean, look at this. Ondrax can just take that hit, turn around, get himself into position, and just slap on right in Mr. Keller's face.
I think Ondrax just fired and missed though, but I don't know, he just picked him up. In the meantime, Alco Hero picked up Seago, but still, He's against Enrico. Enrico is the one-shot, sure, but Ondrax, no, that's not going to work out. Ondrax is a 4-shot. Alco fires, and Gunrunners can just play it here. They made some mistakes, but they did a good commitment on towards the tanks that were in the center village at one point. That was good. There was some mistakes from the Wild Bunch, though, but we'll talk about that after this round is over. Maybe Alco can become the hero his team needs him to be.
Maybe he can just change his name to Hero after this. But
Alco Hero?
now we've got...
If it was alcoholic, I thought it'd be Kiso playing.
I instantly just thought of the picture of him at Grand Fire. Sorry, Kizu, sorry. Now, I'm thinking of Kaiser there, actually. Wow, okay, I'm getting the two of them mixed up again. They'll both hate that. Brilliant. Now, I mean, time's in the favour of Gunrunners. They can happily run down the clock. They're the defensive team. If the clock hits 0, the defensive team get the win. Alco needs to make a push on either one of these tanks, but like you said, Ondrax 4-shot, Enrico 1-shot. It's not looking good for him.
Well, technically, Ondrax could die within 3 shots. Well,
It's hell of a good roll.
Yeah.
On a fire.
Because the alpha is 490. So it can
A little
go,
bit plus or minus, yeah.
it can go all the way up to 600.
If Aaron Jesus is on your side, now he's just going to...
He's not going to get 3 600 rolls in a row.
I've never seen
Well,
that.
technically, he'd only need,
Don't make me count, Daki. I can't do it.
well, let's just say Ondrax.
It's difficult.
Let's just say it's 490 alpha, so 1.2. Ryan, are you with me?
Maybe.
1.2 plus 270
You've lost me.
is 1,470. So if he slightly high rolls, Ondrax is a 3-shot. If he's slightly if he rolls normal, he's a 4-shot.
Okay. That's established.
Thanks. I don't like this play from Alco whatsoever.
I don't know what he's doing.
You know what's the thing? If you drive onto the cap when you're in a 1v2, one of the two guys drives around you, and the other one comes from the other side.
Someone just drives up and
So
says he's here, he's looking at me.
Enrico will just go through the city, Ondrax will push up, spot the mouse, and then Enrico will make his play, and then it's game over.
At what point do they realise that he's not there? Because they're both playing hyper defensive.
They don't care if he's not there. If he goes onto the cap, that is perfect for them, because that tells them
exactly where he is.
Exactly where he is.
That's exactly what he's going to do as well. Boom, cap started, 2 minutes in the cap circle, but there is... See, I mean, Astri's going to do in this one, so he's going to put his butt to the rubble and face forward.
he can't help him because he's too tall.
Yep.
And as predicted, hopefully,
Let's send Enrico through the town.
Enrico to the town because he's quick. The E4 towards the 0 line, and the E4 starts pushing the A line. Enrico peeks out once from behind, shoots him, runs away. Game over. Davai next round.
Fine, extra. Now, to be fair, if you were Alco Hero in your position, what would you have done in that situation?
I would have tried to make the play, try and find or isolate Enrico if I can. If not, try and outplay Ondrax, which is going to be hard, but you have to try. Because I don't think Cap is like ever going to work out. I feel like Cap is like a 1% chance to work. While maybe outplaying, hoping that the E4 tracks you, doesn't penetrate you, you know, all of that. Because if the E4 misses once, you give him 2 shots in total, right? You get the initial shot, he bounces you, he tracks you, you get the second shot, and then, you know, you just try and face hug him, you try and spin him around or something, you kill him, and then Enrico won't have done enough damage yet to kill you, and it's a 1v1.
Yeah.
So
because, I mean, the E4 does have a turret, but look at a nice, great shot already.
that's the thing, though. The E4, all he has to do, Enrico might have a damaged gunner or something as well. Don't forget that.
Can't see that from overlay.
But, like, you know, this is the thing, though. This is exactly what needed to happen. The E4 goes first because he has the HP, and then the 113 just peaks as soon as the mouse starts turning its turret. So there was no chance for Alco to win with Cap. Let's just put it out there. It's like a 1% chance because statistically you have to give him a chance, but it's never going to happen.
It was unfortunate as well because Wild Bunch were, you know, in control for a little bit there, but...
It looked like they were in control, but sometimes the reality is different from what you see on the screen.
Yeah, because you're just looking at the numbers, whereas actually in the heat of the moment, you don't see the angles necessarily.
There's a few things there from the Wild Bunch. One, Batshab was in reload, Valdir was in reload. Those are 2 things. Double mouse in the middle, which they were ignoring.
Yeah.
They were completely ignoring them. Storm was just shooting other tanks. And then as well, who was the 113 from the Wild Bunch? They had a 113, I think it was L-Train. I'm not sure.
Possibly.
I think it was L-Train. Okay, whatever. The 113 from the
Yeah,
Wild Bunch.
L-Train was the one that was going along the
Yeah.
bottom to get
The,
try and
the
get
one,
in
the
the corner.
113 from the Wild Bunch that was in the zero line also pushed up to the little city, which I felt like was a mistake.
You just stayed down the bottom corner?
Yeah, because he would have had a magnificent crossfire angle
Yeah.
onto anybody peeking. So the two Mouses and him, they could have let the 50B die. They could have let the bat shots die. They would still have a good crossfire angle, and they would have been able to do a lot of damage from both sides. The Mouses would still be able to push up, and then they would have two Mouses and a full HP 113. They wouldn't have maybe done as much damage, but it would have worked out because now they knew where the 113 was. So Unji was just holding one corner, which the 113 would have been able to shoot if it was in zero line. Ondrax pushed from the other one. Agorni pushed out his friendly into Unji, so he's like, maybe I can get out. and then the E4 picked him up. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, it was, I mean,
It
Danny...
looked like it was in their favor, but the reloads and such were not.
Yeah.
And the positioning either from the single shooter, the mouse is so far out of the fight.
Yep. In the end, the E4 was able to pick up 4 kills. But let's have a look at the damage and the kills there in that round to see everything who came out on top. So Ondrax, monster damage.
Yeah,
Monster damage.
6,251. Now, that I am sure of, that is the highest we've ever seen.
That's a justified pick.
That is that's surreal, honestly. That in one match you have twice above 6k damage is surreal, honestly.
And Alco Hero surviving till the very end. I mean, arguably sometimes you always get that with one of the last remaining tanks doing a lot of damage before they go down. Enrico there in the 113, however, 2.8. Again, he was one of the last surviving tanks for his team. Arguably, you could say that with Ondrax as well, but the E4, I mean, you just have to have the position.
Well, the thing is, he did
that.
only 1k damage on towards Alco in the end there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, he certainly do. I mean, look at this is in the second page. I was going to say Doodle, but he's the second page. Martin, you said at the very start, they need to get into that corner and get him down quickly. Danny went down really quickly as well. Seemed to just push down that middle road and get
he
crossfire
took the
and
clips.
shots from the mouse.
He took the clips, and it worked out because Ondrax was able to do the damage in return.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the lineups going into round 2 here on Runeberg. Is it going to be much of the same? Are we going to get a sweep through the town on the south?
No surprise. Triple mouse, triple batshot, or you. Surprising that they didn't decide to go for the 4 batshot combination with the 2 batshots, 2 tier 9 batshots, and usually 1 or 2 mouses, not 3. This kind of does tell you they don't really want to go for zero line. They might try and contest it in the beginning to try and spot out what's going down there, but I don't think they'll be driving on towards it. They might be sitting at like K7, K8 from there, from those bushes, trying to do the damage to anybody crossing. Because the Wild Bunch does have a double 113, so most likely you're going to be seeing first one of them to go down there, and in case Gunrun is challenged, they'll send the second one.
The RUs could be a big influence here as well, depending on positions they get into for spotting. But, well, let's find out if that's going to happen or not. Wild Bunch are the red side defending. Gunrunners are the blue side attacking. Wild Bunch setting out their stall, going defensively into town, and it looks like Gunrunners actually are going to be heading north rather than south.
So they decided they don't want to deal with zero line. Well, we'll have to see how that works out for them. Seago going to do a spotting run through the middle. And the Wild Bunch is sending a bat shot across with a mouse holding on A8. Now, if they had if the Gunrunners had a slightly more aggressive lineup, we might not have seen the bat shot going there. If we did, it'd be a massive mistake, to be honest. If, for example, Gunrunners had 2 mouses, 5 bat shots, Gorny going there would be a massive mistake. But now with 3 mouses, they can afford to send the bat shot there.
I was going to say, how much do you think this positioning from Wild Bunch is a read of what Gunrunners were going to do?
Well, it depends. You know, you don't know. Like, you would have to throw another lineup at them and see what they do. Like if, for example, Gunrunners had the single mouse with 6 bat shots, or the double mouse with 5 batches behind, like we're seeing at the season finals and such, and they would go contest zero line, and Agorni would still go there, they would have instantly lost the game. Like, they would have just instantly lost it. It feels like an adaptation to what Gunrunners were doing, because I guess with triple mouse, they were afraid of a #1 base play.
Yeah, it looks like, to me, certainly the Wild Bunch have thought, you know, they've been able to guess what Wild Bunch were going to do, or perhaps they just got lucky with the roll of the dice here in their positioning. But Gunrunners now very static. Initially went south, now starting to go... Well, initially went north, sorry, now starting to come south, and it's not necessarily easy right now to get a read on how they're planning to run this. To me now it looks like they're going to rotate around to base 2, but Wild Bunch have had all the time in the world here to be able to set up their position and to receive it.
The thing is, the Wild Bunch positioning is not ideal to deal with this either, because they have 2 tanks, which is Mr. Kella and Alco Hero, which is 2 mouses, yes. They're going to have to fight mouses versus mouses. which will be fine. The difficulty is here. There's 2 tanks out of the 5, which is Valdir and Agorni. And there's another one, which is Phenomenal, which is now already starting to waste shots on towards the Mouses, which won't be able to help the zero line. So that 113 and the RU are dead. Like, they're literally going to get evaporated.
And here's the push coming with the 3-man hit squad going into the bottom corner. L-Train's going to get focused down really quickly, and then they're going to get shots into the main tank. But they're going a bit high here, Daki, at the moment. They're going to get a crossfire.
They have 3 butt shots. One will come from the south. Below, you can see him, K0, and L-Train won't last very long here.
Look at the damage going into Unji, though, as he does this. L-Train is going to go down for this. Unji took a hell of a lot of hits for that. Just like Dudo and Phenomenal were getting shots into Unji as well. Batchats are going to retreat a little bit. There's return fire going back into Dudo, taking hits there as well. And that is a tank for nothing, and advantage here, Gunrunners.
Yeah, but Agorni is coming from behind now, though, so Gunrunners will have to probably make another commitment towards the zero line because the Wild Bunch is committing all onto center.
Wild Bunch pushing in all their tanks here as Valdir, Mr. Keller and Alco are focusing into Enrico and Ondrax. Agorni there with the return shots back into the rear end of Ondrax. Very nice amount of damage he's done there. Alco's now going to brawl out with Enrico. Great shot there into the front turret, but Alco's taking crossfire shots on the side. Storm coming and running in there from the rest of his team. Enrico still surviving, still swinging here, still doing damage for his team. But the rest of the Batchats are reloading. They're pushing the tanks up the 0 and 9 line and trying to get crossfires back into the Wild Bunch.
The thing is, the tanks from the Wild Bunch, Phenomenal was clipping all down towards the center, and that is not worth it because he is down. Gunrunners is doing what they're supposed to do. They take zero line, they took down Dudo, they took down Phenomenal, and now Storm in his mouse is the crucial player because it's 3v5.
Storm now is able to start getting shots into the mouse, and 113 of Valdir. Agorni now the only real damage dealer here for Wild Bunch. He's going to try and get as much damage out before he goes. But look at this, damage is coming in from every angle at the moment. Storm's going to continue to brawl with Mr. Keller, hold him out the fight. Valdir's going to come around to try and get some single shots in. 2 tanks have now been dropped for Gunrunners. It's not actually going in their favour. They've allowed the single shooters to do a lot of damage here, and well, it's still right on the seesaw here, Daki.
Yeah, you can say it looks like that, but you got to take into reality into account. Storm, okay, if Storm keeps playing like this, reality is going to change rather quickly. He needs to take down Mr. Kella without his Batchats taking more damage for this. Storm needs to finally, there we go, Mr. Kella misses. Now Storm needs to pick him up, and the thing is, Agorni cannot fight with his Batchats because they're all 2 of them 3 shots. And even for the 113, they're
Valdir.
3 shots.
Valdir's now pushing into Martin and Danny, going to try and get a kill onto him. Storm deflects the shot from Mr. Keller. He needs to get his kill shot in now. As Valdir now gets a shot into Martin, nothing in return because Martin's reloaded. Agorni has reloaded, but Martin's able to get the kill on Agorni as Storm gets the kill on Mr. Keller. Now it's only Valdir left with a hope and a prayer for his team. Martin's playing a ring of rosy with him, and now he's just drawn him into a bad situation. Yeah,
but the thing is, they can relocate. Unji is going to go towards the northern cap. Storm's going to block off the crossing. Unji can just, Danny can also just push in on towards Valdir and kill him. They don't need to cap, they don't need to play it out clean. They can go for the damage.
Valdir continuing to chase Martin, who's just drawn him in and out here. He's now got himself stuck. I don't think he's going to get away from him this time.
Oh, bounce!
What a bounce off the Batchat! And Martin gets the kill.
Him.
Wow.
Okay, everybody's going to be like, RNG! RNG! No!
Front armor of the Batchat.
It's called angle of the armor. You can see, yeah, the angle of the armor. If it's too steep, you're going to bounce. If it's too steep, you're going to bounce off anything, no matter if it's a paper tank or not. A T1 Cunningham can bounce any shot if it's on a bad angle as well. It's like auto bounce angles. So that's what happened there. It's not RNG. But yeah, Gunrunners, they did the correct things. Like I said, I didn't like the Wild Bunch positioning. The 113 got traded out. I mean, yes, you lose HP on the Batcha for that. Thing is, Batcha doesn't need a lot of HP to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it can. Until you get it down,
yeah, and then afterwards, like, Phenomenal really made a individual complete misplay. You sometimes, like, you have to say, like, this shooting mouses in the middle with a 50B is a misplay.
You've got all those tanks beside you.
Even when he was in the zero line, further back towards his own base, he was trying to shoot the mouse, which he shouldn't. He should count on his teammates to kill him. Yes, they'll take some damage for it, but he could have picked up at least one bad shot or done a lot of bad shot to another one.
Yeah.
So he could have just He could have played it a lot better.
Because the mouses in the middle weren't a threat.
But there was one mouse left, which was like Enrico.
Yeah.
And he clipped him out. But honestly, Alco Hero, and I think Mr. Keller was still alive at that point as well.
Yeah, they're still the two.
Should have been able to kill that mouse by themselves. They don't need Phenomenal. Phenomenal could have clipped out on towards the Batchets. He did not only make one misplay, he made 2 misplays. That costs you.
Let's have a look at the stats for that round to see the damage done in there. So Storm, 4.5.
Storm played it very, very well. I mean, he kept crossfiring towards the middle at all times.
He held that position for ages. He took an absolute.
He was full
pummeling.
HP though, that's the thing. They pushed on towards Enrico and Ondrax, but Storm was there providing the crossfire. So Alco Hero, who then pushed on towards Enrico, got fired, got shot in the back of the turret almost every single time.
Agorni did really well as well. We did 3.5k damage, then Martin 3.5 in his batch as well. Then it kind of starts to drop off. Look at this, Enrico missed the Kella, same damage. 7 shots versus 17, 3002. That's only, I think, the second time all season we've seen that 2 tanks getting the same damage.
You can see there's like Elstrain didn't get to do nearly enough.
That's actually quite crazy that one takes 7 shots, the other does 17, and they
Oh,
both
blind
get
shots
3,000.
and bounces.
Yeah, but both getting 3002 from completely different number of shots.
Yeah, but the same number of penetrations,
Possibly.
most likely.
Yeah. We'll go with that. Ondrax, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he really just
He was the one getting shot in the ass and getting shot at the sides at the same time and stuff.
But it's like, it's all nice and well that some players from the Wild Bunch did a lot of damage. Their positioning was not good. Not good.
Unfortunate. Gunrunners taking that one now up 3-1 advantage with them. Let's have a look at the lineups. We're going now into Prokhorovka. It could potentially be another 3-map match here, Daki. Artillery coming out from both sides here.
Dudolino versus Danny, or maybe Sigo, but I think it's going to be Danny. It should be Danny.
Dudo versus Sigo.
Okay. Well, I did say Dudo versus Sigo to begin with.
Yep.
We have seen Sigo play the RT for Gunrunners as well. Danny usually likes the bigger RTs. We forgot about that. Danny likes the not the M40. Danny likes the M53, 55. When it's that being played, it's usually him. Sigo is a good RT player as well, though. I have him on my blacklist because of that.
Okay, let's jump into Prokhorovka. Okay, here we go.
You're still recovering from that one?
If you ever watch Daki stream, guys, every so often you'll see the enemy artillery player being muted and blacklisted, and that's because 9 times out of 10 it's because they've wrecked him with artillery. Not just because they play artillery, because they've wrecked him with artillery. So at once or twice, Sigo has...
I can't wait for 9.18.
That'll be great. I think 9.18 is really good because I fully support artillery from that point on. Or artillery fully supports me. Hey!
Well, so the Wild Bunch is playing with an M4043. I don't know, and I can't explain why they brought a TVP. It's just, ooh, Phenomenal. Takes a big shot there. I think that was Ondrax even.
First bit of damage. Curious in here. Now, Sigo is on your blacklist. Is Mastoro on your blacklist as well?
No, he blacklisted all of us.
Okay, so nobody's... Okay, that's really unfortunate for him. Needs to stop doing that, I guess.
But as I said, TVP, unexplainable. I don't think it has its usage on Prokhorovka. He might prove me wrong, but I just don't feel like it has its usage on Prokhorovka because of the fact, yes, it has heat ammunition, but it doesn't have the greatest pen in the world whatsoever. I mean, with APCR, he'll struggle to pen 113 mouse unless he has like clear shots on the underplate of the 113 and clear shots from the front on towards the mouse. He's not going to do anything with them. Even with heat versus the mouse, it's unreliable. Second of all, the gun on the TVP is not such an accurate gun on range. Like realistically, when you have 4 shots,
you will land 3.
And 3, I'd say arguably even 2 shots on range will actually hit because it's not super accurate.
Do you think that's been more of a no, guys, let me play it, I can make it work, rather than an actual proper team tactic built around, and we'll use the TVP?
The thing it does have is has 48 shots, which arguably you're never going to fire more than 20 in the fight.
Oh, yeah.
So that leaves you about 5, 6 clips to blind fire it. Is it worth it over a 263, for example? No. I don't think so, because we saw what the 263 could do last time.
And there is those blind shots coming out with Phenomenal as well, and 0 connections.
Just clearing bushes right now. That obviously takes a while. I don't feel like the Wild Bunch has a good read on this round.
I mean, it looks like at some point they might push that 1-2 line, but Gunrunners are perfectly positioned to receive it. Like everything is there, other than Ondrax.
Right now, what the Wild Bunch is missing is actually that RU-251 that could get them some info on the eastern side. Because if they did, then they would realize there is no Ru. No Ru. There's nothing, absolutely nothing defending the A0 position, and then they could send somebody to proxy Ondrax, and they could pretty much farm him with the mouse.
It's going to be telling as well how much damage the artillery can do from each side.
He already
here.
did 800. No, more than 800 even. Unless Ondrax got pinned by something.
Ondrax shoots, that should get him spotted, so artillery shell should come in his way in just a second.
Ondrax shot H3.
No artillery shot coming in, so
No.
what, he didn't get spotted?
He did take an artillery shot. Ondrax shot HE for like 300. Oh, that was RT.
66. I was meaning the shot going back onto Ondrax.
Oh, I don't think Ondrax got
Dudo.
spotted for that.
Yeah, that's unusual.
According,
Dudo was aiming in that area.
But I don't think he got spotted. I think I'm not sure, but I think Ondrax shot HE at Agorni.
Okay. He then jumped over the rails. So we're seeing everything only
They're
from
not
the
getting enough
viewpoint of
info though,
Gunrunners.
from the side of the Wild Bunch, and there's an issue here that 2 bat shots taken too much damage already for the beginning phase of the round, so they like can't really make peaks anymore, if you want to put it like that, because obviously they are low HP. But finally, Kiki has taken control of that eastern side, and they will realize that there is nobody there.
Big hit onto Ondrax there.
He already
Huge.
took some. He took 700 now.
Just the delay there with the overlay, because that showed.
Yeah,
this
he was at 2.2. He was at 2.2 because I remember seeing it was at 2.2,
Yeah.
so he took like
it just
700.
showed the full amount.
Yeah,
off there.
700 now.
God, you pesky delayed overlay. It looked like he got absolutely wrecked there.
But the 1-2 line counter push
Choo choo.
is coming. It's going to get absolutely smacked as well. There's a TVP, a Batchat, and an STRV. Same concept as with
Reverse.
with Fame. If Wild Bunch is not ready for it, they're going to lose this round, because if the TVP and the Batchat dies rather quickly, then it's GG. But I think they're ready.
Depends as well how much supporting fire can come in. Danny takes a shot at the start. They are splitting up, but they aren't focusing on anyone. Danny's backed off already. He's chickened out anyway. But look at this. Huge amount of damage going to L-Train. He is dropped like a rock. Danny is surviving. He's still got 1 hit left into him. And they're going to try and focus now into Shifter. This is actually really good play here from Gunrunners. They are pushing Shifter really hard. If they can get the shots on him, it'll work. But look at this. There's a counter push as well coming in for a Wild Bunch. They're going right for the middle of this push.
Yeah, but Unji and Marta need to clean this up rather quickly. Yes, they're going to lose Danny. They're going to lose Storm quickly as well. Stigo needs to do some damage to get Shifter finally. And the HP lead, that is the most significant thing. And Storm has front only towards them. They are not going to kill him that quickly.
Storm is able to get himself seized up in a great position here to do a lot of damage as he goes there. IS-7 bouncing off a shot of his face. Storm doing a great defensive play here, holding Phenomenal and Valdur at his front, using the armor off his tank to do a huge amount of damage there. 500 coming in there for Valdur, but Storm is still surviving. His tanks are coming. He gets the kill on the IS-7, and that was fantastic individual defensive play there from him.
Yeah, he got, well, yes and no. It's also the fact that the Wild Bunch didn't flank him.
Yeah.
Stigo.
Didn't go in quick.
That's
Shotgun.
exactly why. Reasons explained here. Great archer shot, by the way, really impressive. But other than that, a great counter push from Gunrunners. I mean, even the mouse, I think Ondrax got to do some shots in towards their side. I feel like Phenomenal and Agorni, I think it was in the bat shots, rather should have gone help Shifter. Because as soon as they lost Shifter, the round was pretty much over because of the HP lead that Gunrunners had and the fact that a full HP 113. If they wanted to win, I feel like they needed to kill those batches going for Shifter and made a difference.
Yep, I mean, Shifter's in a good position as well, so if they kept Shifter alive, he could have still continued to do a lot of damage from his position
They
and
wouldn't
help
really
out
have to
middle
be able to
fight.
kill Storm, but the thing was, Storm was spotted. Which means when you get spotted in E1, you have to go a lot lower, which means you don't have such good shots. So, yeah, I don't know. Gunrunners are showing, you know, more experience and quicker adaptability.
Dudo, I was going to go and try and slide over the rails there to get away to safety, but Martin gets a tracking shot. Unji gets a shot into him. Who's going to get final kill?
Storm.
It's going to be Martin. Storm does it. Well predicted, Daki.
Well, Martin
predicted.
was on reload.
I couldn't tell the reloads because the overlay.
Well, it was first person. It was on screen.
I didn't know us.
But yeah, Gunners are showing more experience, more
Yeah.
adaptability,
Yeah.
realizing their mouse was in deep trouble, and deciding to adapt to it. And I think as soon as they realized the mouse was in trouble, the second time they went straight forward. And the Wild Bunch again, not in position. And that TVP. I'd love to see if
pay
he did,
off.
I'd love to see if he did more than 600 damage. If that was a 263, with an
Could've got at least 2
STRV,
shot. Even 1 shot would have done, yeah.
if that was a 263, it'd still be alive right now.
Yeah. I would really like to see, I mean, we're not going to see it. I would like to have seen how that middle fight went. When Wild Bunch did the counter fight and you said they didn't push over, they had 3 tanks. So how those 3 tanks couldn't deal with that S tank by rushing and flanking is quite confusing me. I think they went to go over the road and stopped, and that's what blew it for them.
Maybe.
They allowed him to siege and turn. Let's have a look at the stats for the damage done, see exactly what the TVP it brought to that
What a
round.
surprise, he's not on the first page.
Dudo second top there on his artillery, however.
Yeah, he did a nice amount of damage, but he did at least 1.6 to the mouse.
Yeah.
So leaves 1.3, but you can
Seago,
say Seago.
third, yeah.
I think
Artillery's-
Seago might have actually penned one of the bad shots at one point because he didn't do anything in the beginning phase. So either he penned an IS-7, which is unlikely, or he pinned one of the bad shots. I
Yeah.
think that's what might have happened.
Both of them showing they were justified picks for their teams. Seago got a kill with it as well. TVP, not even a single shot if it had been a TD.
Well, this is one of the things as well, though, which we saw last season with a Gorney.
47, 1
With
kill.
a Gorney, like one round is like does 60
Monster
damage,
game, yeah.
and the next round is like 47.
Consistency is the key.
Consistency, yes. Well, I think this is
This is it. 3 maps again.
done.
Advantage Gunrunners, 4-1 up, match point.
Well, they seem more prepared. They seem
Definitely, for sure.
They seem quicker as well in the reactions.
It doesn't seem like the Gunrunners we've seen from Gold Series, but then arguably the
You could say if they
level
win this
teams playing
5-1,
against.
they have arguably done an equally good performance as Fame did against
Yep.
an arguably stronger opponent, though.
And then the advantage would then be with the Gunrunners because they have the Gold Series
Yes.
experience. They played against the harder teams consistently, and Fame have a bit of an uphill task then against them. So it's going
Well,
to be
there'll
a
also be
good
like
final.
one match that decides everything. I don't think they've had that yet. I mean, the last one was that really,
Pressure
but
kind
the
of.
next
yeah.
one is like 100% decides
Yep.
everything.
Let's have a look at the lineups going into the round here for round 2, Prokhorovka. As we say, match point Gunrunners. Gunrunners looks like they're looking for a fight with this lineup.
Yeah, triple 113. It's not a bad pick. STRV, double bat, M4043. They want to play, they want to control stuff. Well, they want to control parts of the map with the 113 and hold down. Spot out for RT. They might even go eastern side with it, even though it's unlikely. But they just want to hold and shoot with RT the entire game. Because the 113s allow them with so much versatility, even spotting. It all depends on whose M40 does better here. It's going to be Dudo, or Seago.
Dudo and Seago, yeah. I was going to say it's interesting again that both teams taking artillery each side when in the previous match we didn't see artillery being used here on Prokhorovka. But let's find out how this one's going to go. Can Wild Bunch bring it back to 4-2? Or will Gunrunners make it 5-1? Wild Bunch are defending on the red side. Gunrunners going to be attacking from the blue side, and Gunrunners all going to the east, and Wild Bunch actually going the same way. So
If it's an eastern side fight, though,
gonna be a quick
it's going
fight.
to be in the favor of Gunrunners because of the mouse being out of the fight pretty much throughout the entirety of it. Valdir will also not be there. What the Wild Bunch, what Gunrunners needs to do is if they want to make this commitment, they need to make it hard and fast, as in no stops on the train, boys.
it's got to go all the way to the end station here. Now, Shifter in a great position there with all that foliage. Martin and Rico pushed up and stopped. Danny's pushed up and stopped. We see some shots coming Danny's way. Valdir is on the other side of the rails, so if they wanted to push, they have the overmatch. Mr. Keller's back over the rails as well. It looked like Gunrunners were pushing and now they've stopped. Now they're unsure.
The thing is, this is still not a good position for the Wild Bunch. Rikiki and Agorni going over there, they allow them to be pushed on from the top side by Ondrax and Unji in the STRV. Once those 113s make their commitment, they won't be spotted until they get very, very close towards these bad shots. And I think Gunrunners, the way they're sieging up, will go for it at one point. Danny's in one of those spotting bushes, which doesn't really get used often, neither in randoms, but it's a very neat little position, but they've already found him.
Danny's been shot. He's getting focused fire at the moment. In return, they're going to focus Agorni and try and get him down. Danny's going to try and drop himself safe into that area. Doodle might get a shot over and drop one onto him. Argoni's going to back off as well. So trade for trade at the moment, going slightly in the favour of Wild Bunch.
Yeah, slightly, by like 60 HP. No, not 60. 27. No, 31. No, 29. Yeah.
But yes, an advantage sitting with Wild Bunch at the moment. Interesting position as well from Doodle with his artillery there, Decky.
Well, he has to sit there because otherwise the tank like a bad shot could sneak around through the A-line, maybe kill him. So now he knows he's always safe. Gunners is going for the rotation though, and Wild Bunch might catch him on the way out because see, 2 bad shots are pushing back up towards that 0 line, and let's see. This is the correct rotation though. If they do it like this and they can support their bats on top of the hill, it's going to work out for them, I think, because these 113s will take one line, and then really this mouse doesn't really work so well against RD and 113s and such and such. Neither does Valdir, and Valdir actually took too much damage, which had to be from Seagull.
Storm set on fire there, took a lot of damage, and now he's burning away there as he's trying to drive away. Nasty, nasty hit there. He's taken almost as much in fire damage as he took from initial shot.
Yeah, that's the thing though about the 113. You cannot afford it. You cannot afford to play it without rations and double repair kit, because double ammo rack is a thing that happens very, very often. So no blame on Storm there. He has to do it like he did. Honestly, it's just the way the 113 works. And you get him set on fire, well, it is what it is.
Enrico and Martin pushing up now. So this gives Gunrunners effectively control of the entire map from 1 to 6 line, other than where those 2 tanks are sitting against the line. Kiki taking a little bit of damage there, peeked over the hill a little bit too much. Artillery fire coming in there into Enrico. Mr. Keller being focused now as well. Huge amount of damage going into the mouse. He's down to 945 health. And this is really nice position from Gunrunners to get this crossfire.
You know what's the thing? It seems like every single time it's the same story for the Wild Bunch. They set up in a good initial position. The Gunrunners makes one rotation, and that's it. They don't react. They don't react towards what's happening. They saw Storm crossing over. Why in God's name is Mr. Keller still sitting over there?
Yeah.
What is he doing over there? When you see Storm cross over K-line, this means that Gunrunners is rotating.
Those 2 113s there have been able to deflect a hell of a lot of shots as well and stay in that position to do shots back at the moment. Now Argoni's going to try and get damage in. Mr. Keller is now down to 15 health.
Finish him off.
Need to get one more shot into him, and then that's the gun advantage with Gunrunners and the tank advantage with Gunrunners. Wild Bunch have lost one of their punching blocks. They only have the 113 of Valdir to do that. He's at half health, so yeah. Enrico tracked. Dangerous
here.
Position right now.
Double tracked.
I don't think they'll be able to finish him off.
No, L-Train clipped him, and that was it. Nobody else had shots. I don't know. What is this STRV still doing on A0 all this time?
Still up there in that corner. They've still got the 2 Batchats up on the hill as well, so they haven't moved them all off. Maybe because they saw those tanks up there, they didn't think everyone was rotating. They thought maybe just Storm was rotating as a distraction.
No way. You can't just rotate Storm. The Wild Bunch should have more experience than this. Now, the next thing is Storm is going to play on this gap. If Valdir pokes, he'll get shot by Artie. Storm just needs to play it safe and smart. As soon as he gets spotted, he needs to move towards the block and just play against Valdir one-on-one. There's no way out for the Wild Bunch here, honestly. There's no escape.
It's going to be
because remember, now as well, pressure will start coming on towards F0 by that batch shot, by that STRV. They'll start closing the distance, and then what does the Wild Bunch do? They have nowhere they can flank from. They all have to come from the front, and they don't have the armor which they had, which was the mouse to take them. There we go.
7-8-4.
They don't have the mouse anymore that can take those shots, and now they're just gonna bleed. And what I said, F0, here we go. Valdir probably gonna go down.
Crossfire shots there from the S-Tank and Danny up there in the back chat. Now L-Train and Kiki are going to try and push here into Storm. They're going to get damage into him. It's going to be a lot of damage as Storm is sitting side onto them. Not ready to receive this at all, but Martin in the meantime has killed Agorni. Kiki's taking a lot of damage for pushing in here. L-Train clips out safely. Now Martin's now taking a lot of damage actually in return, but look at that, he gets the kill on Kiki, so that's a double kill for Martin. Doodle has been spotted in his position. He's on 8 health. This is it, the beginning of the end, as Enrico now picks up the kill on Valder. There's only 3 tanks left of the Wild Bunch. Ondrax now gets the kill on Dudo. L-Train Shifter, okay, you have all the HP, but you are against 6 guns of gun runners, and that's done and dusted, lads, I'm afraid.
Yeah, all around just really, really good plays from the side of gun runners in this one. Taking control, taking positions, punishing the Wild Bunch for every single move, and the Wild Bunch just not reacting. Initial strategy, okay, standard. Reactions, non-existent. There was none. Yeah, Valdir moved away, but Mr. Kella stayed there. You're sacrificing a mouse, a full HP mouse, for nothing. Literally
Danny with the
nothing.
ram. There we go for the final kill, and there we have it. So, Gunrunners winning this one 5-1, which means we're going to have a Gunrunners Fame finals to see who gets into Gold League or who survives and remains in Gold League.
Yeah, Gunrunners, very strong showing here though for the Wild Bunch. Back to the drawing board. Initial tactics good, but 2 or 3 rounds in a row now where their initial setup is okay, but the rotations, the reactions, they're off. They're not quick. They're either non-existent or they're not quick enough. So they need to think about what they want to do in the future, because obviously then I'm going to make it to Gold Series next season. So yeah, they're going to have to think about how they want to do.
Another whole season to think about it.
They need to work on the rotations, they need to work on reactions. They seem to have the initial strategy down at least, but the rotations and the reactions weren't there.
Yeah, because they do good. They do either the really good counter push or they do the really good defensive lineup and they catch whatever the enemy team is going to do. But then after that, I mean, we saw this a lot of the time last season. It was something that Gunrunners and both eSuper were really guilty of. They had that one tactic. Once it went against them, there was no counter to it. There was no, you know, play on the move or anything like that.
Gunrunners is on form today though.
No shenanigans. It's working in their favour.
We'll see in the next one if they have any shenanigans.
Maybe there'll
planned.
be big time shenanigans. Are we going to get that from either team? Would be quite interesting, you know.
We'll see.
All or nothing. It's, you know, one shot, one opportunity. Let's have a look at the stats. Damage done in that round. Pretty sure it's going to be a page full of Gunrunners on page 1 here. L-Train, TVP worked for them that round. Bit different from the previous round.
Yeah, can't say it really worked if he's the only one that got to do anything whatsoever for the team. Seago, really strong performance in RT, not just this round, the last one as well. Unji, Enrico, Danny, Martin, all doing okay. I mean, they just took the map. Like they left the Wild Bunch, but nothing, absolutely nothing.
I'm just thinking, at the end of the season, I interviewed Danny about Gunrunners and how they were doing, and if they stayed up, what, you know, how they plan to, you know, grow the team and what they plan to do. And Danny did say there's a high chance, you know, that he was considering bringing in, for example, some Chinese players into the lineup of Gunrunners. So that could really shake things up. I wonder if Danny is going to be going to the grand finals and scouting out the APAC teams, perhaps seeing if he can take any of them over to Europe.
Agorni, top player.
I think Agorni top it in. The top damage is a good call. Seago did a lot of damage as well.
Yeah.
I think Argoni had what, maybe two
on
really high rounds, but he had one round that was really terrible.
I mean, he's probably still on top though, because it's hard to make 6k disappear.
True. Yeah. I'd say Argoni top damage is a good bet. Let's have a look and see. Argoni, then Enrico, Storm, Seago, Ondrax. So yeah, well done, Argoni. 2.5 average, very similar to Jostra. But Argoni got 11 kills. Jostra, I think, only got 4 kills. So that kind of makes Argoni better than Jostra, I would say.
The difference being that Jostra's playing in the finals and Agorni isn't.
True. So he got out-damaged by someone not in the finals. Outplayed.
Pretty much.
Yep. Nicely done from Enrico, 2.5 with 4 kills. Alco Hero. Well, they did rotate the team in a lot. Yeah, so doesn't really count. Danny coming in 9th there. Martin was playing the single shooters a lot of the time. Yeah, well played for Gunrunners. Very nicely done. They are now through to the playoffs. They can one more match. Finals, one more match, and that's going to be them to secure their place in the Gold Series. And it's one more match, and that could be Fame. Well, who's going to win? Let's find out after the break. We'll see you guys soon. Don't go anywhere. Good evening and welcome back, folks. This is the Wargaming.net League Silver Series promotion, and well, we are at the final teams. The final stages are going to do it. My name is Ryan Murphy. Join me here is Jordi Versamesi. And here we go. It is going to be Fame 7x7 versus Gunrunners.
Yeah, gunrunners.aoc.
Gunrunners.aoc, my
I'm going
bad.
to be correct
My
about
bad.
it. You know, what I do like is that we've inverted each other.
Inverted are the jackets. I was just thinking I don't have my plain black jacket, and then we would have been an exact mirror matchup.
Uh-huh.
Mirror matchup.
That would have been interesting. But now we come to the grand finale.
The creme de la creme
of
of 7v7 play. From Silver Series, anyway.
you know, I don't know what else I can say as a final.
It's like the Copa America, I guess.
El Clásico.
More like the Copacabana, probably. Really, El Clásico? Is it really at the Nave Tornado energy level?
Not really.
Of
It's like
rivalry?
the prime spectacle of the Circus Maximus, though.
True, the circus. You have the gladiators versus the animals.
Well, half of them.
Okay, some of them, yeah, I suppose, yeah. Now let's have a look. Let's actually think back to how we got here. So we had the first match today, which was Fame versus Infinite. Fame won that one 5-0. Then we had Gunrunners versus Wild Bunch. Gunrunners winning that one 5-1. So now Gunrunners Fame play each other.
Impressive. That's better than you did all season.
That's the best I've done all season, indeed. Last match.
The only reason why it's not tiebreaker is because I'm sitting here and I have no tiebreaker curse on me.
Well, you thought some of them could go tiebreaker. You thought someone could get drawn out.
It's just to scare you.
Okay. So from those not familiar with the teams, we'll bring them up once again and talk through them. Starting with Fame, a team we've known a lot of this season. They are, we know a lot of them. We've talked a lot about them because a lot of the Gold Series teams have various members from the Fame clan in them. But this team, not so much.
Huh? This team is full of
Well,
them.
this team not so much Gold Series players.
Oh,
I mean.
okay.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. But yeah, we've seen their starting 7 is basically the ones on the left side. They played pretty well, just around top. He's going to have to hope that some of his players perform a little bit more than they did in the first match, though, if he wants to lead against Gunrunners, which he is. He needs to count on his players a little bit more, I'd say, for them to do the damage.
Yeah.
We saw Zed do extremely well, and we saw, I think it was Creator and Mareshka were a little bit...
Well, Marechka was
slacking.
unfortunate. He got cut out a lot of time at the start of the battle.
And Creator was playing the heavy tanks, so...
But it was effectively a Josh Zet show. They carried the team. Very well done as well from Zet.
They're going to need a more team performance though against Gunrunners.
Need to get it all together. And their opponents, Gunrunners, if you have been following the Gold Series this season, you all know this team. It's the exact same lineup they've been playing throughout the entire season. They are fighting to stay in the Gold Series, whereas Fame are fighting to come up from Silver Series.
They looked good though, Gunrunners, in their match, I have to say. I think it was a lot closer than the one between Fame and Infinite. I also feel like the level was a little bit higher in that match than the first one, I'd say. Both teams playing slightly better than, I'd say, the teams in the first match, because that didn't really look like a match whatsoever, to be fair. Now, though, the maps are going to be super important.
Yes, let's have a look at the map lineup and see what we're going to get. Are we going to get city maps? Are we going to get open maps? Are we going to get a mix of both?
Obviously, mine's being banned. No surprise.
Keep the YOLO away from Gunrunners.
Yeah, so steps are going to be coming out. Himmelsdorf, Prokhorovka, Ghost Town. I don't know, man. These maps, steps.
Steps we haven't seen yet today. Himmelsdorf we haven't seen yet today. Prokhorovka and
I
Ghost
think Fame are
Town we've seen
okay
both
on.
teams.
I think Fame are okay on Himmelsdorf. I don't know about their steps though. I think that can be Gunrunners map to break out early on in the beginning. I feel like that might be more of their map than Fame's. Especially because steps depends on the climbs, and they have Unji who can do some climbs as well.
Yep.
So there's that. And I don't know how good Fame's players are at the climbs. And Himmelsdorf should be a 1-1. Prokhorovka again should be a 1-1. And then Ghost Town also really a 1-1 between these two, I'd say.
And
so I think steps is going to be the make or break map for this series.
And from Ghost Town as well, you go Ghost Town and you go straight to tiebreaker Ghost Town if it gets to that stage.
I think really everything depends on steps. If Fame goes down 2-0 here,
Let's it done and dusted.
it's over. If they can pick it up 1-1, then they can make it work. But if they lose this map 2-0, there's no chance.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the lineups here on steps and see what tanks are going to be brought from each team. Fame are going to be defending, Gunrunners are going to be attacking.
I like this lineup from Gunrunners a little bit more than I like the one from Fame, especially because of that mouse. We have seen it at the season finals, if you remember Ding versus Kazna, how they absolutely destroyed the tactic from Kazna crew with the mouses, with the Arty, and with the E50M, and this is something that seems Gunrunners is going to copy. And we saw Seago already do some monstrous things before in his artillery, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to do it again. That's the thing. I think I favored their lineup, give it 60 to 40% in this round at least.
Okay, now it's going to be really interesting what we see here. Fame going to be red side on the defense, Gunrunners going to be blue side on the attack. As I say, for people who have watched Gold Series, yes, Gunrunners do have their own distinct camouflage, but because Fame don't, we're not going to have the team camos in game here. The teams are going to be playing without team camos.
No, you can still put them.
Oh, you could, but it would be confusing because Fame's not using it. Fame doesn't have a team camo, you know. I was thinking that earlier on we had Gunrunners versus Wild Bunch because they do have their own team camos, but we didn't do that just to keep consistency basically through the broadcast, so it's not confusing. It's going to be a tough call for Fame. I mean, this is it. You can get into it. Then everyone always jokes about, oh, when's Fame playing? Because there is so many Fame players in the various different Gold Series. Now they have a team just purely of Fame players. But you can't knock the experience of Gunrunners, like you're saying. No, you really can't discount that.
I don't want to be a traitor here, but I'm still siding with the Gunrunners side on this match because of the experience, because of the fact they have a lot more match rhythm coming into this one. They've been there, they've done it, they've looked good in their first match as well. They seem well prepared. They've played more as a team. They might be more of a unit even, because obviously they've played Gold Series together. They have met all of each other in real life. I think check lands and such, because obviously that's where the pictures from the website are taken from. So they have seen each other already in real life. So it's different, different kind of coordination, synchronization, and in general chemistry.
Do you think this would have been the most difficult way for Fame to qualify? Like, had, say, for example, Gunrunners lost to Wild Bunch, do you think then Fame would have had a much easier matchup?
Yeah, I think they would have had a much easier time than against Gunrunners here. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past Gunrunners to pick this one up. Let's put it like this.
Yeah, I mean, Gunrunners were, I mean, okay, let's be honest, right? Fame has Zet in their team. Zet played exceptional well with Legend, but Legend, when they were playing in Season 1, got whipped by everybody. They were the lowest performing team. I think only won one match in the entire season, and that was against Rusty Rosta.
Or KB.
Who were like the team above them. Or KB, I think it might be in the team, they were third bottom, yeah. Whereas Gunrunners did get defeated quite a lot in Season 2, but they did win matches. They did take teams to tiebreaker. They did perform.
They did okay, but not great.
Yep. Well, let's see who can pick up the first round as we jump into action here on Steps.
Steps, the most open map in the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually begins the attack from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light vehicles with a good camouflage rating, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret and even SPGs.
And here we go, right from the start. Fame 7x7 on the defense, Gunrunners on the attack. Now Fame have swapped out a play. Here we see Young being brought up in the lineup. He's able to climb, you were saying, Daki?
Yeah, if they want him to climb, but for now he's just going to be playing in that bush. Fame is going to go for the rails. It's a tricky tactic to pull off. Obviously, Zed failed to climb in the meantime on A8. You can see that on your minimap. It is a difficult tactic to pull off. Gunners are just going to counter the climb in the beginning, and they have Arty to work with as well, and they can back off if needed. Once they get those spots, which they do now, obviously, and already your first connection coming out.
Shot out from one of the E50Ms there into the side of Young. He's going to have to move position there, and the E50M's got himself into a great area there to be able to get those shots and initial fire over. Yeah,
and the thing is, Fame can't really trade here because of the Arty. That's the issue for them. Really, it is a big issue. Jostra is going to go over now because that is kind of safe. That is a kind of a safe play to make even. The question is, though, if Arty is going to move towards the east, that's already close, but if Seago moves towards K0 at one point, like we have seen throughout the season happening, then they're going to be in trouble. The only thing they got going for them is Zed, obviously being an RU, will spot out Storm at some point. And then Fame might try to go for an overmatch, but the issue is they have a mouse of their own.
Zet rotating all the way around there on the minimap. Mastora takes big hit there, 7-8-6 coming in there from Artie, peeking round the corner, giving Artie an angle. Not really great there. He should have known from that first shot coming in where Artie would be, and it was dangerous to peek around that corner, but, you know, them's the breaks.
They're going to group up and go for an overmatch because they've spotted Storm. They're going to try. I don't know if it's going to work, but they're going to go for it, and you can see it on your minimaps, but Raven's still very far out of the fight. If Gunrunners spot this out, Storm will just push across the field.
Zet's going to back off now as well. It looks like Gunrunners are kind of pulling their tanks back in to receive the charge. You can see Ondrax repositioning. Unji and Enrico are the furthest ones forward. And if Fame were going to push, kind of should have done it now because it has given Gunrunners time to react to this. They knew that Storm got spotted. Now they'll be able to, you know, set the gun line.
Yeah, they should be ready for it. They should be able to suspect that it's coming because Raven is now in the fight as well, but Storm is still gonna be there within half a minute or so, I'd say, before Storm gets there. I mean, Zed will keep him spotted, but it's not enough. It's a Roo versus a mouse. Zed can't really do much against him. Storm will just turn his turret and shoot him on the move if he has to. But Fame, in the meantime, is pushing over the rails, though.
You can see artillery is repositioned as well into a safer area as Maresca leads the charge with Freedom coming in behind him. Mastora peeks over and gets a nice shot there into Enrico for 439. Maresca coming round to flank round the side. They're going to try and get a rush drop in here. He goes back into the middle area. It's very dangerous here for Fame. All it needs is one tank in the wrong position, and Seagull can connect with someone. He shoots across 376 there into Freedom from Unji, and his E50s actually can take a lot of damage in this area.
The thing is, they're just going to wait for Storm, and Fame's going to try and push in now with Mastora, Raven on the side, but Storm is almost there at this point in time. Raven will get there, yes, a little bit before Storm, but Storm will just push in from the flank, and I don't think this commitment from Fame is going to work out. Yes, Zed trying to do what he can from the back lines, but it's still a tear rate out of the fire. Well, Seagull might get one more monstrous hit in towards those tanks, though.
Unji angles himself, takes another big hit there from Raven as a little bit of damage goes there on into Storm. Danny's now coming over into position as well. She's working out which side of the rock are Fame going to push round here, and it's all up to Seagull. But look at this, Zet's pushing into Seagull, and they might actually lose Seagull to Zet here. They have nobody coming back to do that. They're committing a tank back to save him. Oh! Seagull! Fantastic shot there to deal with Zet, and this is it. This is really bad now because Fame don't have Zet giving them pressure on the damage.
Look at Danny, he's going to flank around the side and get the cross shot. Fame either makes a commitment now or never, because once Danny gets on towards the side, he's going to shred that 113 and he's going to shred the mouse.
This is it. Unji's taking a lot of damage, as is Danny now coming into side. Danny's taking focus fire, but look at the damage dropping down there on Fame. They've lost Mastora now as well. Young's the next tank being focused out. He's one more shot and he goes down. 275 health. Raven's taking a lot of damage. In the meantime, Enrico has been dropped. Crater getting a double kill there as he also picks up Ondrax. Maresca is surviving here against Martin, but Martin now picks up a double kill and his bat chats are on reload and the E50Ms can give chase.
Yeah, Martin and Unji just going to chase him down. Storm going to do it. Raven in the meantime. Unji just shooting on the move. That's the power of the E50. Now these bat chats can go wherever they want. Seagull again with another one. RD coming in full effect, and this is it. Fame not set up for this play.
Crater are running round the back. He's probably going to get the kill here on Seagull, but it is too little too late. Crater on a reload as he's getting chased by Danny. Danny's going to finish him off with the ram, which he does there. And there we have it. Gunrunners surviving. 5 tanks still on the board, and a fantastic individual artillery play there from Seagull.
That's it. Steps is a make or break map. I don't know if I completely agree with the initial strat from Fame. It is very hard to hold that AB line versus RD. We have seen it. It's extremely hard to pull it off because we know the 113, he has to peek for information. So he has to peek out, and RD is going to connect him at one point like he did. 780 it was. And the thing is as well, they have to push Z off of the boost. You have to remove the RU from the climb. So if Gunrunners at one point just abandoned it and went eastern side, I would have also worked in their favor. If they just, with Storm being there, at one point they could have driven back, catched out Z, went into the cap, and they would still have won. I think Gunrunners was in an ideal situation throughout this round. Fame's counter push is literally the only thing they could do, because otherwise they're going to lose anyways. Like I said, if they pull back, which they can, because Fame wasn't really that close, 113 could just turn around and run, and they could go eastern side. Storm knew he was spotted. There needs to be an RU there. They go eastern side. They park onto the cap. Fame loses. So Fame had to make the play before Gunrunners decided to rotate.
That Artie shot, the one
he did a 3k damage, maybe more, 3.5 if he
Yeah.
hits. So from what we saw on screen, he did 3k.
Easily, yeah. A fantastic play. Let's have a look at the stats and see damage done there in that round, where it came from. You can see up top is Seago, 3.1 there from 5 shots and 2 kills in the artillery. Showing its worth. Doubt you'll be able to do that in the next patch, mate. But, well, get it in while you can.
Arguably on a longer round, yes, he can.
Yeah, in a longer round. But, I mean, the kill on Zet was super important. Super important.
The thing is that wanted to commit onto the RD. I don't know always if it's the best thing to do, because the thing is, with Gunner's position and Storm being in the fight, Danny was allowed to peel off from the
You
group.
could see him, yeah, he
He was
peeled off.
starting to turn
yeah.
around. Zed realized this, and he was like, okay, I need to get
Run.
away from here. Even if I get the RD, I trade my T-Rate for that, it's not going to be worth it, because our RT has already done what they're supposed to do. So they would lose Zed in return for an RD piece, but then Danny would still have 2 shots, come into the fight, and the E50s would bounce some shots. You never almost penetrate 5 out of 5 on the E50 with the bat. And once you're on reload, you get chased down. So, yeah, Gunrunner's just holding on correctly, honestly.
Yeah, great shot from that range from artillery on Zet, and then he could turn around and focus back on the fight. I guess there's always the danger as well, you're perhaps not thinking that RT would be looking in Zet's direction, think he's maybe just focused on trying to get a shot.
That's the only play he could do. He went for it. He's like, okay, Zet, you want to duel? Let's rumble. Let's let's go for a tango.
Yeah. Worked out perfectly in his favour. We saw in the previous round just the kind of damage he's capable of. And yeah, first round to Gunrunners. We're going to have the teams switch sides now and see how they can do it next time round. You said this is probably going to be the make or break map already from the very start. If Fame go down 2-0 here, it's going to be rough for them. It's going to be rough.
I'd say more than rough. I'd say unrecoverable. They need this next round. Honestly, they need this next round. All the other maps are realistically 1-1 maps against Gunrunners. The thing is, Gunrunners is better than the teams they've played before. They're better than the Turkish team they played before, which I don't remember the name of, and they're better than Infinite as well. So Gunrunners won't be giving up just 3 rounds. They won't just be giving them up. They won't make so many individual mistakes that lead to a 1 round being thrown. That's why if they go 2-0 down here, Fame, it's going to be an uphill battle to come back into it. And
they've tasted Gold Series as well. They've seen how close you can be to getting through to the lands, which effectively all you need to do is like not come, second 2 spots and you're in contention, Could they do that next season round? That's certainly going to be playing their mind. They're like, we've tasted glory, we want a bit more.
It all starts with this round.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the lineups for round 2 here on steps and see what we're going to see from each team. See Fame going hyper mobile with multiple bat chats, a 113 and an artillery. Gunrunners bringing triple mouse and E50 and double bat chat. It's a heck of a lot of armor for Fame to get through.
Let me just say that M40, he needs to do 4K at least. 4K at the very least. Anything below 4K is going to be a loss for Fame. I'm just saying it now, because those mouses have so much HP that is 9,600 HP purely on the mouses. He needs to do 5K or 4K just to even the odds.
And the thing is I'm not going to be looking for a fight, Gunrunners. They're on defense. They can let the clock run down. They're starting a match here with almost a 4K HP advantage over Fame. And yeah, they really, really need to make these bat chats work for them. It's a really bold call.
It's not even the bat chats that need to work, because they won't do anything against the mouse. It is Alpha in the M40 that needs to do it.
Let's find out how this one's going to go. Once again, we see Seago in an artillery piece. If I was Fame, I would be not looking forward to this. It's a bit of a scary prospect. It's like playing against Papa Pawin.
And look at this. Gunners is going to set up to try and counter the spotter that goes to spot the climb. Unji is going to take a bush ahead, and they're aiming for either the rocks or a bat shot that tries to spot if somebody was climbing the A line.
And who's going to take the bait, if anyone? Blind shot coming out over there, ready there from Martin. Appropriate emblem, inscription there on the artillery. Welcome to hell.
Feels bad, man.
Unji now backs off from that area, and the tanks from Fame. Oh, that landed right on his butt. Can artillery get the shot in?
Ooh, he got tracked.
We got tracked, but he's able to shimmy out of the way.
Okay, that's luckily enough for him a good trade. I was kind of scared that one because he burned his repair kit. Maybe Alpha should have kept his shot a little bit longer, waiting for that to happen, but obviously it's hard to make that call. So Fame did take control over the A-B line, but Gunrunners, they seem to be willing to give that up no matter what, because otherwise they'd be contesting it. So there is a plan here behind what they're doing. They want to give it up, they want to spot with Masters, they want to reset with Masters, they want to count on the fact that Artie just won't be able to do enough. Like, that's the thing. You put up a lot of armor, you put the RT in a very tense situation, because everything really relies on him now, which makes it a lot harder for him as well.
It's quite interesting as well to see that Fame are counter-rotating all the way down south as well, and set someone on the cap circle, try and draw someone up over from that area, and at the same time send tanks around the bottom, and give Gunners a couple of things to think about here.
Thing is, though, Gunrunners don't care about tanks in the south. They can't do anything. They can have 2 bad shots here. They're not really going to affect the game from Gunrunners. What if they read this? They will just counter push A, B, A line and D line at the same time.
Just
but
try and pick 1 or 2 tanks from that area.
yeah, all they're doing is putting a spotter there. They don't care if Fame has 1 or 2 tanks in there. They'll actually be glad if they have 1 or 2 tanks up there.
This Ondrax is the one that's further south. There's Storm taking a hit in his mouse there.
Might have been Artie.
Look at his position. I think it might be Nari. He peeked up over the middle, so maybe Crater got a shot into him somehow from where he is.
Well, soon TM, one of the masters is going to have to go when it hits like 70%. Somebody will have to go.
Yep, we're at a minute left on the cap timer. Zet is setting the bait out for Gunners to come into. We see Martin taking a lot of damage. He's on fire? No, he's taking a lot of damage from it. He's taking crossfire damage from Majostra, sorry, and Crater. He's in a world of trouble right now, actually.
Yeah, he's going to go down.
Artillery picking up the kill. Gunrunners are being baited here, and they're not reacting to... Oh, they are reacting because Fame's now backed off of the cap circle, but Gunrunners... Well, Fame just went fishing there and got himself a mouse.
Yeah, that was a very early kill there from Fame. We saw Kazna crew play strat with 2 mouses, and they relied on double 140 to be able to get the resets. Now, Gunrunners, I'm not sure what they're counting on because they have a lot of tanks not in position to blind fire, and after 2 minutes, they already had to sacrifice one of their mouses. Now, this completely evened the game, and it puts 1 gun away from the side of Gunrunners.
Looks like he'd moved from that area. Seago's now moving position, and that's very strange because you use the mouse to go up and push the cap like that, but you wouldn't expect the mouse to take so much damage. But the crossfire position was really well done, and now
I don't know if I like this counter push, by the way. I mean from Fame, because like the mouses are gonna go now, but the batches are gonna take the A-line in the meantime. If those batch shots come too late, then they're gonna lose those 2 batches in the north for free, because Enrico and Storm are now pushing, and I think Fame just should run away with Raven and Zed and put triple cap pressure on the other side.
it looks like they're going to go the way. They might actually get the pick onto Seago here.
They will get the pick on towards Seago.
Seago goes down to give away their position, although Freedom got the shot. Now what they're going to do, they're going to drive in the cap circle here and try and pull them different directions. The Mouse are committed now to going over to base 1. Now they're going to get shot in the back, and this actually could work out really well here for Fame, because depending how long those tanks survive up north, nobody can come back over to reset down the bottom. 30 seconds in, and they're triple capping. They have artillery, and they have Jostra to be able to go across the middle and just do interference tactics, basically.
This is game over. This is game over. Those bat shots are locked down over here. Ondrex goes down. They can't even get back to the camp.
Yeah,
this is
GG. This reminds me of Oops in Himmelsdorf. You draw them all up to one base, and then you go in and cap another one. Very nicely done there from Fame, actually. They baited Gunrunners up into the top cap and then came sweeping in the bottom and took the bottom cap.
Yeah, very well played there, but Gunrunner strategy didn't seem very polished. Can put it like that. They didn't. I don't know what it was based on. Like if they were hoping for some blind resets or something, because sacrificing a mouse that early for free.
Thing is, as well, is that confused me about what Gunrunners were doing is that you were saying that you didn't think it was very good what Fame were doing with the counter push, but Gunrunners committed everything north without knowing where those 3 tanks were. So it was like Gunrunners were saying, "Oh, I think everyone's north."
Well,
and then the minute they lost artillery, they should have gone, "Oh,
the thing is that Gunrunners didn't leave anything behind. The mouse is counter pushed as well, which is
usually it's just one goes up and spots, and others sit back and shoot.
So that way, Fame could just put 3 guys on the cap, which is exactly what they did, which was what they're supposed to do, and it was game over at that point.
Yeah,
correct rotations there, nice damage.
Exactly what Fame needed.
Mouses from Gunrunners. I don't know. It just throwaway tactic, honestly.
Yeah, the first one dying was like silly. That was like, let's see
But
if we can catch
he
boys.
had to go spot. So
Yeah, I mean, we should have gone so far. I mean, he was further over. Should have perhaps been more north when he was
no,
going.
it wouldn't change anything. I'd still get shot from 3 different angles. Everybody had heat loaded, so you could see it. There was too much crossfire angles.
Well, let's have a look at the stats for the damage done in that round. Top damage actually coming out from Artillery. You said he needed to do a lot more, but it looks like he did enough.
But there's still like a lot of HP left. So, but yeah, good shooting there from the RT. Pretty on point. If Gunrunners wanted to play like this, they needed to take control over the southern side with those 3 bat shots. They really needed to take that position where Freedom was, because Freedom just got easy shots on their side. Like this, obviously, not that good for them.
Yeah, 2 Mouses there, 0 damage. Their Artillery, 0 damage. That's pretty rubbish round, to be honest, from Gunrunners. From what we know that they're capable of and what we've seen from them, that really was quite brutal, actually.
Yeah, good for Fame that they picked up the second round, because Steps was going to be the make or break map.
Yeah.
Now this puts us more towards tiebreaker, if anything, in my opinion. I don't think either team good enough to win Himmelsdorf 2-0. I'd be surprised if either does. I don't know. I don't think either team can win this 2-0.
Himmelsdorf is going to be our next map. It'll be the first time we've seen it this evening. We haven't saw it in the previous 2 matches. Like you said, generally a map that ends up being 1-1 doesn't really have an advantage either way. But it's one of the oldest maps in the game, and it's one of the most popular maps in the game.
Well, purely experience-wise, Gunrunners should win it, but Fame has a lot of individual skill that might make up for their inexperience on the map.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Gunrunners play some absolutely horrendous tactics on this before, though. We've seen them take, like, double Foch, which is like...
Well, I don't think that we're going to be doing this anymore.
No, well, I don't think we'll see that. We've seen Zet, when he played with Legend, taking 6 E100s, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, that's something we don't see pretty much anymore at all, is it? Since the mouse meta, we don't see the E100 used at all anymore.
No, it's just not good enough.
It's a shame. I quite like that tank.
I don't.
What's your favourite tank? Bat chat?
TVP.
TVP. Interesting. Well, we're just waiting to get confirmation of the lineups, then we can review them to you at home. Multiple Mouses, I think we're going to see lots of armour, very little in the way of rotations, lots of brawls coming in, lots of slow pushes. I doubt we'll see any kind of cap rushes. We'll get maybe a rush depending on the speed of the tank.
It's kind of hard to do a cap rush on Himmelsdorf.
That's what to do. Teams need to break the meta on Himmelsdorf with cap rush tactic.
Great. And then there's a mouse in front of you, and it's like, oh, well, we're all dead now. At least we tried, right?
Hey, trying's half the battle.
Like I say when I play with certain clans, you know,
communication is key, guys.
Communication, participation, you know, motivation.
Is that what you've been saying when you've been leading QSF recently?
Participation, communication, motivation.
Daki, clan commander for hire. You can boost your clan's win rates.
Play for fun.
Play for fun always.
Don't just win, also have fun.
On the sleeve. Don't just win, also have fun. Okay, let's have a look at the lineups coming into Himmelsdorf here. Let me see that Fame are going to be starting off the attack, Gunrunners are going to be defending, and Gunrunners going super heavy armor here.
Double Type 4 heavy, T57. You can do a cap strat with that, obviously, with the Type 4 heavy. We have seen it, but that was usually with a Batcha behind. Let's see how Gunrunners plays it, because technically this lineup is supposed to go over 0 line, but it could be a little bit of a debate.
A debate. Well, let's find out if that's their plan as we jump into Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
And here we go. It is Fame on the red side attacking. It is Gunrunners on the blue side defending.
I completely had the side switched up in my man.
And, well, how's this going to go? Were you thinking it's the other way around?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. Double Type 4 heavy and a mouse. Those Type 4 heavies could, like, if somebody goes into those windows, he could really like splash him. Like if where Zed is going, you usually have a 1-1-3 there. You know, they could really splash him for about half his HP in one shot if they can hit it though. But I don't think that's the plan here from Gunrunners. That's a very, very, very heavy lineup though. So much armor.
So much armor and so much alpha potential as well if they can connect their shots. I mean, that can be absolutely brutal damage.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's going to be very hard to dig through this for this
Yeah,
Night of Fame.
frontally as well, going up against the E3s.
Well, Ondrax will for
Mouse.
sure, usually if you put an E3 there, he has binoculars. So I expect Ondrax to have binos, and the first mouse that gets spotted on the rails will die. Well, no, not die, but he'll take
a lot of damage for it.
He
Yeah.
should take like 1k at least.
And Zet has to play very carefully as well because he can get eliminated by those Type 4s.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we said this before in the previous round, though. Like, you know, we said, okay, Fame have got so much to do. It's going to be such a difficult task. And in fairness, they were able to do it. But I mean, they
It's a
were
little bit
kinda
different here. You
handed
can't
it
really
to him
drag
from
the mouses
Gunrunners.
around that well.
Yeah. Although Oops is really good at doing it in this one. And they had a fantastic play where they baited the team to defend at base 2. Then no, they baited them to defend base 1 and then swooped in the back and took base 2. It was beautiful.
Alpha here trying to blind shot behind E1. We know obviously there's nobody there, but there have been times before there in different kind of tactics. Fame now has to, I mean, they don't really have to wonder about the positions. They just have to think about how many tanks are in each spot. Because obviously they know where Gunrunners is sitting. They just don't know exactly what the distribution of the tanks is, where everybody's located, etc., etc. They're going to be moving towards the eastern cap, which, yeah, it can work, but they're going to need all their tanks there, I think, to be able to pull it off. Because otherwise, Gunrunners should be able to outtrade them.
Yeah, I mean, generally in here in Himmelsdorf, the defensive team will either push down the 1-2 line and then come back up it, or they'll just be hyper defensive in that top left corner. You generally don't get defensive teams pushing out in Himmelsdorf. You have more than enough angles that you can cover just by sitting back and forcing the attacking team at you. And then once the attacking team is committed, then you know which way to angle your tanks, because generally it only comes from one direction.
Pretty much. The setup here, though, from Gunrunners is just like they can have the cap if they want to. We'll counter push after. They just want to punish somebody peeking on 0 line, and if they get lucky, the E3 might do so.
He's making the move towards it. The rest of Fame moving slowly up the Banana Road here, as you can see on the minimap, that area nicknamed Banana Road because of the shape of it, obviously. Blocking each other in there, giving each other protection, but no crossfire shots coming into him, so Fame must know by now that there's a gun line waiting on him, that everyone else here from Gunrunners is getting ready to receive this.
We'll see, though, how the E3 does. Like, how far is he going to peek out? Because if he peeks out too far, he's going to take double type for a heavy shot. And an E3 maybe even. He shouldn't peek until they start the cap at the very least. Because it's just not going to be worth a trade, honestly.
Fame manoeuvring their tanks up into position here onto the 7 line. Now, Gunrunners haven't pulled their other tanks over from Ondrax, Unji and Danny yet, but they can quickly rotate around to help the rest of the team. Zet's going to go over and start the cap, and that's going to trigger a little bit of movement from Gunrunners.
It should. Gunrunners, there's really only one play left for them, and it's a straight A-B line counter push.
This is going to be an interesting fight, because it's going to come down, like Creator rubbing up against Zet, they're doing a little bit of damage. It's going to come down to who makes the shots count. Once it all starts kicking off. Like, it really is going to come down to the individual skill of the players.
Yeah, but you can see that Gunrunners is just grouping up for that counter push. The only one that won't be there is Ondrax, but he's starting to move out of that window as well.
And Bastora, will he spot them?
Yeah, he'll spot him, give one shot of damage for sure, but then he's also going to be out of the fight after that.
And in reverse, Fame have a gun line sitting back on the corner. We need to see whoever peaks first to try and get the reset.
The thing is, they only need to just push Zet away from the cap the way that they're set up right now. They can just push him away from the cap, and that'll be all they need to do to halt this cap, and then there's 5 minutes left.
Who goes in first? Is it going to be Storm?
Yes, I'd say it has to be
Oh,
the 1-1-3 fire.
That's caused them to push now without taking damage. Bit of an early jump there from Stora as he actually gets a shot into Seago. 5-4-7 was nicely done. Shots going up there onto the E3. Seago takes a big hit from him. Seago was be a focus. The Storm's now the focus. Zet backs off. Gunners have taken a bit of damage for this, but they have pushed Zet off the cap now.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's all they needed to do, though, realistically. They have taken some damage, yes. Oof, but trading here with the Z3, I don't know about that. They did make him burn his repair kit, but they're taking so much damage, though, Gunrunners. Already bleeding 3,000. Not a good start.
The thing is they've bled 3,000 here, and they've only caused a small bit of damage back. They've got one single shot into Sai. Now look at this, Storm is continuing to be punished. He's in that area where Mertorius dies quite frequently. It's Mertorius' graveyard, pretty much. He has a spot reserved there. Yeah, Gunrunners had the positional play there, but it's very nicely done there from Fame to bait them into it.
Yeah, and even Ondrax move back now, and this I can say this round is over.
There's a counter rotation now coming from Fame as well around the other side, and Gunrunners are going to be caught in a crossfire once this happens. Joshua, though, set on fire.
Yeah, that's not going to be very, very helpful for them. That's going to sting.
It's a huge amount of damage, and Freedom takes a shot now
The thing
as well.
is that they can't control the cap now, though, because now Thingy Zed is on there. So that's a big issue for them, because they're going to have to push across. And
when they do that, there's going to be push from the other side, and they continue to just bleed health here as they maneuver.
yeah,
Danny now taking damage as well, because Creator's in a great position to get shots as anybody moves over.
well, it's been on 3,000 for most of the round now, though. So, I mean, it's not all that bad for them. But Unji now trading as well. Martin taking more. This should be Fame's round.
That's TD up on that hill is having a field day of any tanks moving across his gun sight here. He's only taking one shot back. He's able to get at least 4 shots now out onto the enemy tanks of Gunrunners. Zet now in a perfect position, hidden by the building, sitting in the cap circle. Freedom giving him crossfire. Martin is now dropped onto 55 health. And Gunrunners have just taken damage across the board. The only player still full HP is Enrico. And Fame in full control here.
Yeah, and Danny taking a ton of damage on the crossing as well. They are taking so much. Yes, there's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, but those 2 minutes and 30 seconds will be more than enough to kill everybody. The E3 doing more and more damage as well. It's not working out for Gunrunners.
Really nicely played here by Fame. They have control of this map. Martin's on 55 health. One more shot, he'll go down. Seagull and his type 4, 761. I mean, they just don't have the HP to trade now. That's the problem. Fame can push in on them. They can start focusing out tanks, which looks like it's exactly what's going to happen. Danny's now dropped down to a one-shot. Storm's pretty much on a one-shot as well. Mareska's going to come around and point blank somebody with his tank. I mean, this is the beginning of the end as Unji gets dropped really low as well. They're going to try and just ram him to death, I think, from the looks of it. Mareska gets a kill on Danny now. Joshua gets a kill on Unji. Cap circle down to 2 seconds. 1 second, and Zet hasn't been challenged, and there we go. Fame now take the lead 2-1 against the Gunrunners here with a win on Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, Gunrunners, again, didn't seem like they were prepared so well for what's going to happen. They wanted to punish the E3, but the E3 never really gave him the possibility to be punished. Played it well over there, not peeking. Yeah, that was it. And then pushing across, taking a lot of damage on Storm. And then Ondrax leaving that rail position. If he stayed in that rail position, they might have been able to hold on, honestly. If he stayed in that rail position, he would have given Zed a big shot.
Yeah.
And Zed would never have been able to cap on that side. So then Fame would have to push in, trade HP here and there. Might have been a different story. But with Ondrax leaving that position, that was the moment the round was lost. Because Zed was just playing on that side. Nobody could challenge him. Nothing from Gunrunners was quick enough to cross back over. So
it was good patient play as well from Fame not to overcommit.
yeah.
Like, they were sitting, they were waiting for Gunrunners, they were making Gunrunners have to do the moves, and they weren't playing into it. They weren't going like, okay, we've got them on, like, push, push, push. And it's like, no, guys, just chill, just, you know, there's no rush. You've got the enemy team where you want them. And, I mean, they were just bleeding so much health. Every time you looked at a different area.
3,000 deficit throughout the entire round.
Yep. Well, let's have a look at the stats for damage done there and see who came out on top. I mean, I think the E3 there, yep. 3.6k damage there, 7 shots. He was in the damage farm from that position.
Yeah, he's shooting at type 4 heavy. He's not very hard to penetrate. Mareska is type 5 are also doing very well. Honestly, the damage doesn't matter very much. The rotations were on point, and that's what won them the round.
Yep, nicely done. 5 players from Fame on the front page. We always say when you get 5 from one team, tells its own story. I mean, there's no two ways round about it. Damage fall off quite quick, though, from top damage to second damage. You're talking about a good 1k difference there. Zet, doesn't matter about his damage. He got 100% cap points. Seagull obviously could have done a lot better there. Enrico as well, 6 shots. Only one actually connected. Martin, I mean, it's there for everyone to see. Just unfortunate, really, from Gunrunners. Perhaps a little bit rocked. We did see throughout the season, last season, that when things didn't go their way, Gunrunners were very quick to drop their heads and to be demotivated. It's something they had said in interviews throughout the season. They have to be very careful not to have that happen to them because they can be very much...
It's 2-1. It's not over just yet, though. Usually when we saw them stumble is when they lost 1, 2, and then third round in a row.
Yeah.
They can recover here, but it has to be done here, though.
Yeah, Himmelsdorf is a very standard 1-for-1 map. You said beforehand you didn't predict it could go, any team of the two could take it 2-0. So a big challenge. You think that would be a definite tilting point?
Probably, yes. I think if either team that goes down a map, it's not going to be...
Yeah.
They're not going to recover, either of them.
Because it is, best of 9 as well. So, yeah, it's a lot to play for. I don't know. I think it's definitely going to be close. Definitely going to be close. Lineup again, imagine really heavy. Not a lot of flexibility and mobility. Mediums going to be generally a lot of TDs and heavies once again. It just depends. Are we going to get another top brawl or is there going to be a middle brawl? Let's have a look at the lineups and find out. See what the teams are going to be bringing here. It's going to be Fame on the defense. It's going to be Gunrunners on the attack. And again, really heavy lineup from Gunrunners.
I still don't know if I like this type 4 heavy pick. They didn't really do much in the last round. Maybe they can make them work in this round, though. They're going to have to be... I mean, this time it's going to be easier to use them in essence. They have some tanks they can do a lot of damage to. 50 Bs, 130, 90, 113, obviously very prone to that HE damage. That might work out for them in that regard, but it really depends if these type 4 heavies can actually do something.
And is this the lineup that you said, Daki, where you expected to go over the hill?
Yeah.
Because they're attacking now, yeah. So E3 on the corner, something shooting over the top of him.
I don't know, it might be an A-line cap even for that matter, with the type 4 heavy blocking somebody in.
Well, let's find out. Fame are going to be defending from red side. Gunrunners going to be attacking on the blue side. Now, there they go up the hill, Daki, as you said.
Yeah, no surprise there that they're all going on the hill. Mareshka and the boys pushing down 1-2 line, while the rest of the team is pushing on towards the 0 line. Unji just spawning on the downside, obviously, while the rest of the team is going up. So Unji spotting across, the rest of the boys are going to go up. It might be an A-line cap, might be a B-line cap as well. We'll see. They just want to go over the 0 line and then we'll see. Zed is going to be sitting here, spotting the crossing. With Fame, I don't know if I like their position in the beginning though, because usually when you see a strat that is very based around 0 line, you go and counter 0 line. They're just playing a very standard, trying to control 1-2, but there's no 1-2 line play coming out though.
Yep, they're rolling up over the hill here. Looks like the Gunrunners, it's a very slow maneuver here as they're going up here. Unji heading up into Banana Road. The rest of the team for Fame are going down the rails on the 1-2 line. And it's a very spread out lineup here, but something that, Fame can easily quickly rotate back from.
Yeah, but the question is how much damage they will do on the 0 line crossing. Majostra is there in the E3 with Alpha, so that's about 1.3k damage. But how much are they going to take in return, though, is the question, because probably the E3 will peak first, which is going to be Enrico. So we'll see when he comes around the corner how they'll do. I don't think Fame is really set up well to deal with this because of the fact that Gunners will get onto that cap really quickly as well. So that's going to be an issue. And most of the tanks are very far in rotation distance.
So they're coming down here. Saiyajin Alpha is going to get vision on them. Shot missed already. First one coming in. Shots on the move from the rest of Gunrunners. No connections though. Enrico's going to stop and try and get an actual direct shot in. But Danny actually gets a tracked shot there. Looks like he's stuck side on there. He does get a move on now. So he's the only casualty there taking some damage. The rest of the team able to move around safely.
Yeah, a lot of deflections coming out from the side of Gunrunners. Ondrak's not taking some as well. They need to start putting some damage back in towards Fame if they want to win this, because they've taken some, not significant though, but some.
Jostra taking a little bit of damage there, 272 in his E3. And look at the rotation here from Fame coming through the bottom of the city. Trying to come back up Banana Road here. Zet's pushing up onto the hill as well. This is a lot of eggs in one basket here from Fame. They can get a crossfire here, but they need to be really quick when they do it. Otherwise, Cyanogen's going to go down for nothing here.
Ooh, nice shot there from Storm though on towards Alpha. And I think Alpha is in trouble here against Storm and the other side because he can only point towards one side. And there we go. That's a mouse. That's going to go down for free.
He's going down here. There's no other counter push here from Fame. It looks like Freedom stopped and decided he was going to go through the middle of the courtyard. All the time, the rest of his teammates are taking damage. He does actually Alpha bounce that shot. Nicely done now. Raven's trying to come in from the back. Now Ondrax is being focused. There's the shots coming in from the crossfire here. There is coming from the courtyard, getting shots into. But all the time, what can this tank do at the top? He's going to have to hold out for as long as possible. And there's Brawl. Looks like he actually might be making it. Raven backing off here now as well. And this is actually working back into Fame's favour. We can see the two tanks pushing up over the hill now. They're hanging around here. Zet's going to take a real bit of damage, but Danny actually now getting the kill on Alpha. And well, Fame, what can you do back in return for this, lads?
Danny just staving Storm there, who was not doing very, very well against Alpha. He got saved by Danny so badly because otherwise he would have gone down because Jostra gave Storm a big shot and Alpha would have been able to find a finish. And with two tanks on the hill, it looks like Gunners is going to try and go for another overmatch here, but it's a little bit of a crossfire available. Mareska is on fire!
Oh, big shot there into the back of Mareska. Sets him on fire there. Really nicely done. Freedom's going to poke around now and try and get a clip out of damage, whereas Raven's holding the angle here as best as he can. This is great play here from Seago. He wants to get a kill on Mareska. Gets another damaging shot into him. Freedom tracks him, but look at this. They're still surviving for all the HP. The tanks are still there. The guns, vitally, are still in the game. Okay, they're bloodied and bruised, but they're still swinging right now. Martin gets the kill on Raven. Unji gets the kill on Mareska, and this looks like Gunrunners are going to be taking this one.
Well, they still have 7 tanks alive, but the HP is dropping, and the tanks from the hill are starting to do some work. Raider getting a full clip out, but he's on full HP. So is Maestora. Now, Fame needs to pick up kills if they want to win this round in Freedom. He looks like he wants to get Storm.
Freedom coming around here, looking for any kind of crossfire opportunities. Is he going to get Storm? Storm's faced him. Storm gets one into his face, drives around the side, gets an easier shot into his side armor. Is now Crater, and we see Zet coming down from the hill. So many times Zet with the HP's being able to save his team, keeping his HP till the end. As they get the kill on Danny, nicely done there. Two of them jumping on him. And now it's turning back around. Gunrunners have the guns, but they just don't have the HP to trade with Fame here.
Good plays there from Fame, getting the kills very quickly. The deciding factor will be Unji, though. If he can get a clip on towards the E3 of Jostra, that will change the game, but very well done there to get Danny out of the fight. Danny did not expect Creator and Zed to push down like they did, but what is Freedom doing?
Freedom taking a drive across the middle there. Shouldn't have done that. Jostra was the one sitting back there. Perhaps that was a bait for his team. Okay, Jostra goes round and gets the shot now.
But he's tracked now. Double tracked.
They dropped an all-trader for that. Jostra's double tracked. Now Unji can shoot him in the rear as well. Ondrax and Seagull going to come off reload. Crater gets the kill on Andre as Ondrax gets the kill on Jostra, and it's just absolutely crazy. Now it's going to come down to Zet and Crater, and well, what the hell can Zet do from this?
Not much, I think, because Enrico will now push back towards the 0 line in his E3. He'll push away Creator, and then they can start capping. And yeah, I think Freedom really made a big mistake there, honestly, like a massive mistake. And now Ondrax will get on towards the cap, and all Enrico has to do is cover the crossing together with Seago, and then it's over really, because Ondrax, Zet's not going to pen him. Like, Zet doesn't do anything versus a mouse.
The silly thing is Jostra wouldn't commit around that corner because he knew there was tanks there waiting to shoot. So why Freedom thought that he could drive across behind Jostra like that,
no clue,
was mind-boggling, because that was, you could see the position from Jostra. He was not going to go around that corner. He knew there was tanks on the corner.
Creator, though, clipping out on towards Ondrax here. Nofar not getting any connections. That's not good, because look at this. Creator is now on reload. He'll have only a few seconds to spare once he comes back in. Well, a little bit more than a few, but he'll have to commit if he wants to reset once more. And they shoot punish.
Seagull's now aiming towards where Zet is.
Now Zet needs to reset. Now Zet needs to reset, or it's game over, because Creator won't get back on time.
Seagull is aiming exactly towards that area, though. Once Zet peeks out, Seagull is going to hit him. And Zet's going to let it go as far as he can. He's going to try and turn and run, but I mean, with 3 on the cap, I mean, it's bold.
He has to peek.
Zet, you've got to go now, mate. You've got to go now.
I don't know if Creator gets it on time. I don't think so. Zet doesn't get it.
Zet didn't get the reset. He's coming out. He does get the reset now and backs off. Crater's going to come around as well. Crater gets the kill. Can he get one more into Seago? Ondrax now gets the kill into Zet. It's up to Crater. Crater, you've got to run, mate. Now you've got to run.
Ondrax needs to give him at least 1 or 2 shots here. If he wants to win this.
He's going to get one into him. Nope. Creator can play ring around
No,
the roses
he will
now.
he'll still get another shot. He'll still get another shot.
Even in this next bit, yeah,
Yes.
because angle. Okay, yeah. 1. Big shot. Okay.
Low
no,
roll.
low roll 4-2-4. Oh man. Right.
Now the thing is, Ondrex needs to position very far away because he needs to give Creator one more before
'Cause,
Creator
yeah,
comes in.
Because he can hit Creator. Creator can get 2 shots into him and 1. So Creator needs to get the first shot.
Yeah, Ondrex needs to take. Ondrex needs to make sure he hits the first shot on Creator. If he
And-
does,
and-
he can win it.
And Creator absolutely has to penetrate his first shot as well. Oh, he was ready for it.
So it's the thing though, if Ondrex gets his first connection here, he missed.
He missed. Ondrax hits the hull. Creator comes in. He's going to try and get round the side of him. He does. It's an easy kill now for Creator. He bounced the first one already though. He didn't get it in. He's not got this. He's not got a flush angle. He hits him with the second one. He's coming in. He does it. Whoo! That was so close. That was so close. But now Fame vitally have won the 2 rounds in Himmelsdorf.
If Freedom didn't throw that, I wouldn't get in that position to begin with though.
Yep. Yep. Self-created errors there. Self-created problems.
But Ondrex missing that shot. He tried to go for the track there. All he needed to do was the damage, but then Creator
Yeah.
probably would still be able to kill him though.
Creator missing that shot when he
Yeah.
came in though as well, right off the side of it. Guess nervy play. I mean, it is a high stakes battle here. You're talking about getting into gold series for the entire season. It's a big match for both teams, but Fame holding in there.
Massive plays from Creator though in that round, doing a lot of damage.
Huge bit of damage, and well done
But
to
it-
Zet as
it
well.
missed-
Missed the first shot, but he got
Misplays
the
from
reset.
Gunrunners though when they have 7 players left there. Danny not expecting Creator to come from behind. Weird, because he was 1.3k HP when they catch
Yeah.
him for free.
Yeah. Them's the breaks. So Fame now sitting here 3-1 up. Could it be the third match? Could it be? Can we have three map games?
Maybe.
It'll be interesting. It'll be a complete turnaround from Season 1, where the playoffs in Season 1 were 3 tiebreakers, and they were really long tiebreakers going down to the last minute. So let's have a look at the stats, because the damage is going to be real interesting for this round. I want to see where it came from and just how much. Oh, wow. That is a monster carry.
Well, monster carry from 2 players though, not just 1.
Monster carry there from Creator indeed. Joshua doing really well. I just felt so bad for him in that situation because he didn't want to commit. You could see he knew that if he went round that corner, okay, he was going to get a kill, but he knew the danger was is that he would
Thing
get
is, Unji didn't
killed
have
back.
to commit onto killing Jostra either. He was on A5 shooting Jostra from behind and Creator killed him.
Yeah.
His teammates had the kill. He didn't need to peek again. He could have survived. If he survives, they don't lose that round either.
And Creator from up on the hill shooting down
Yeah, he
onto
got
the
full clip.
E3 was lovely
And
as
he
well.
got a full clip, and you know why? Because Unji tried to go kill Mareshka. He bounced the first one. He bounced the second one. He only killed him on the third one. Unji, crucial player in this round, as in not playing very well. First, not connecting shots. Then, second of all, peeking where his teammates... Jostra was dead anyways. He was double-tracked. They needed to just hit their shot, and he would be done.
yeah,
He'd
didn't
be
need the
over.
back chat to shoot him in the rear.
Yep.
Zet, small bit of damage. I mean, it doesn't really matter. He was a scout. He got a vital reset when it was needed. Probably a game-saving reset, actually. Mariska, Danny, Type 4 Heavy we've talked about before being, you know, is it appropriate for this map? Is it the right pick?
It didn't really just work out that well.
Yeah.
Like, in total, did like 3k damage, 1.5 average.
And it's a tale of 50Bs as well, because one 50B from Fame came third bottom damage there. Another one came top damage by a mile. Even saying that, like, by a mile, still like it was like about 600 or something, I think, above Joshua in the E3, which was a really great play as well. So nicely done, certainly carrying their weight in the team, for sure, for sure. Now we're going to go to Prokhorovka.
Technically a 1-1 map, but RT comes into play, which we haven't really... Well, we have seen Alpha versus Mouses, but this is a different kind of mechanic.
Seago and RT as well.
Seago
though,
and
is
RT.
Huge threat.
I mean, Gunrunners looked very well on their Prokhorovka when they played it against the Wild Bunch. So, I mean, for the sake of the match, we hope that Gunrunners
Yeah.
picks it up 2-0.
That's true. And Fame did look a bit ropey. I mean, they effectively lost it and then won it again
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of
that-
misplays from their opponents. So it can go either way. I mean, you did say before, Himmelsdorf, if it went 2-0, it could be a huge advantage to a team who does go 2-0. Throughout the season, Gunrunners have tilted a little bit. Would they tilt now, or are they going to still feel hungry? I
We'll
don't
find
know.
out.
We've not seen any chaotic plays from Gunrunners yet. We've not seen any of the complete curveballs that we perhaps saw throughout the league. But then how much of that was, we expect to get beat, boys, so let's just make the match entertaining?
Make it fun.
Or how much of it now is going to be like, okay, let's just, you know, You know, throw caution to the wind. Let's just play what we want to play, what we like playing, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Well, we'll see though. Prokrovka is a hard map to play as well, and RT can change.
Yep. Well, let's have a look at the lineups and see what the teams are going to be bringing here. What vehicles are we going to see? We're going to see Fame on the attack. We're going to see Gunrunners on the defense, and double E50M from Fame, but no S-Tank.
Double E50M, double 103, double bat. Can be aggressive eastern side if they want to. What it looks like, straight through the village. Try and take that number 2 base control. Gunrunners on the other hand, standard lineup. Honestly, Mouse to just hold the 6-7 line. And then the rest of the tanks probably towards the eastern side, I'd say, in the beginning. If they want to win, I think they need to block off Fame's eastern push.
Well, can they do it? So many times we've said, is it going to... So many times. Twice tonight we've said, is it going to be a 3-map match? And it turned out that was the case. Fame got here with a 5-0 victory in their semi-final against Infinite. Gunrunners did a 5-1 against Wild Bunch. Can they do it here? Well, there's one way to find out, because we're going to jump into Prokhorovka. Okay, Fame red side attacking, Gunrunners blue side on the defense. Gunrunners fighting to survive here in Gold Series, and Fame fighting to come up into Gold Series from Silver Series. It's a hell of an important match for both of these teams right now, and only one team can take that place.
Well, as expected, Fame's going eastern side, which what we predicted. Gunrunners are deciding with RT they don't have any business on the eastern side. They're deciding to go 1-2 line. This could work well for them. If Seago gets like a massive hit on somebody in the forest or such,
That's
then
aggressive from Zet.
yeah, he will spot Ondrex crossing over, but there's nobody in position to do damage towards him.
Is Danny going to chase him and kill him?
No. Danny won't be that aggressive. He knows as well that Zet, if he goes that aggressive, there's a reason behind it. Ondrex will be able to hold that A6 position very well, though, to be honest.
Well, how aggressive are you going to go this time, Fame? Because earlier on, you went so far, then you stopped. But now you've got complete control over that side. Gunrunners should know not to overcommit on that 1-2 line and now start coming over into the middle. We have seen even Gold Series teams really fluff the counter rotation here and give up quick caps on base 2, but it looks like Fame's going to set up to go for a fight rather than a cap.
The thing now is the Storm needs to go to E1, E2, set up over there, so we already hit 379, to set up to counter the 113s peeking over, and that way those 113s become pretty useless, honestly. Like they can't really peek. If they do, Storm pins them down. If they stay there, RT shoots them as well. The C50 can't really peek that aggressively either, because Storm can shoot them as well. Unji will lock that side down, and will control the south. So Fame pretty locked down in this area right now, to be honest. Like I don't really feel like they have an answer to what Gunrunners is doing.
And this is one of the dangers when teams try this tactic on the 789 line, is that if they're not capping, they run the danger of just getting pinned in that top right-hand corner, because it gives the other team so much map coverage and then different angles to come in and shoot at them. And peeking over the rails, the defending team can take their time to pick their shots. The attacking team, it's a horrible time that they've got to be aggressive here, and this could be a really great arty shot coming up.
Yeah, let's see though if he can hit it. Once Alpha moves back, there we go, the shot comes out. Swing and a miss.
Just over the top, and he's going to want to try and peek and get shots into Enrico, but we saw Jostra there 2 seconds ago take a hit from artillery and then take a hit from another tank as well, so he's backed off and swapped positions with him.
Yeah, it's probably the S-Tank pinning him down over there. That's we need to see though, because Danny's going to make a run across the... nice shot there on towards the master. Danny's going to make a run across the rails to try and spot the RU, as he probably does right now, and then RT should come in and reset him.
The thing is as well, when you're capping in a base like that, you can only really be in that one bush.
Yeah, so Danny comes up on the rails. Zed's like, well, I can't cap anymore, guys.
Yep.
RT's going to zoom in on towards me.
Unless he wants to start trying to drive around circles. Another shot coming in there from RT. Oh, splashes him.
It's something.
2-3-5, yep. That's something. Can chip away throughout the entire game and stack up. But, yeah, shot coming in there, not actually doing any damage.
That's the SRV though. That's the issue. I mean, how much damage are they going to lose over time here? I mean, yes, 2 guys on the cap now to bait it a little bit more. But with an Lorraine reloads quickly enough to be able to reset that. So, I mean, in a number of seconds, we should see the Lorraine get a reset on at least the RU or somebody else.
Jostra just taking another hit there, taking his
Triple
health
cap,
down.
they're going to push.
From the back, they're going to push over into the middle. Raven gets the kill onto Ondrax. That was a big surprise there up top. They're going to try and push over into the middle here. They want to try and get an overmatch, but Danny and Rico are ready for this, and Fame are trying to push the advantage. But look at this. Look at the damage going on to Maresca as he pushes over the top there. They're trying to get a crossfire set up. Raven's taking loads of damage. So is Zet. So is Sain. They're trying to get these. They have to get these tanks down. They're taking so much damage for it if they don't get the tanks down. Amhorak there on Danny. Freedom gets the kill there. Saji goes down as well. But look at this. Fame are still going down. Can they get a kill on Enrico now? Can they get themselves safe? This is a big moment. If they can get safe, this was good for them.
This is the thing, though. I have never seen anybody get this lucky as they ammo-racked Ondrax in a mouse. They ammo-racked him.
That was why he went down so quickly.
That's why he went down so quickly. So that's only a little bit of justice.
Double tap on the left side of the turret then, yeah.
That's only a little bit of justice there that,
Wow.
you know, that it gets traded out. Freedom is going to try and push Unji here, but Storm should be in position to help him. So if he does that, he should get traded out. Ooh, Unji, what are you doing, mate?
Unji, crossfire there from Raven, and Maresca are still in the game here. Maresca's got 39 HP. Raven's got 82. Maresca now goes down. Storm able to get the double kill. He's in a great defensive position there. Artillery coming out there, misses the shot. Freedom now being focused, rushing into Unji there. Zet's now taking damage as well in the RU. Crater's now taking damage as well. Trying to focus into Will as he's dueling with
Will
Crater.
should win this still, though.
Can Zet save him?
No,
No,
they
one
can't.
more shot from Will. Zet's going to go down as well. Will's going to ram him to death, actually. It's going to be a
Will's
slow
reloading.
death. Slow death. He's going to ram him. He can do it with rams. Zet's got to
No,
run.
you can't trace him down.
Yeah, Zet's got to run and shoot him on the move.
Oh,
cheeky.
It's not one. I mean, it's
Zet gets the kill now. It's 4 guns to 1, effectively. And Storm is just taking damage there. Seago's in artillery.
they don't know where Storm is though right now. They only have 3 tanks. It's not enough.
Would you send Zet to the cap? Would it be worth it? Maresca's going to cap. That means they've got to try and draw out Storm. Storm's got to move. Unless Seago tries to blind fire.
The thing is, Storm can move though, because Mareshka capping. Mareshka is the only one that can reliably pin an STRV. And if Storm spots out Freedom,
If you're Storm, would you just push north, thinking that you're going to have a tank there? Like, oh, Storm's right beside them. Oh, Freedom spotted them.
I think Storm spotted him out as well, though. That's the issue. Yeah, he did. And Seago is going to aim as well. Freedom can't flank. Storm should pick it up.
Seago missed. Seago shot
That's
right over
fine,
him.
that's fine. There's 2
Storm's
guys on
got
the
a triple
cap.
goal. Storm has
needs
HP.
to move. Storm needs
Yeah.
to move now. No, he needs to go. He will get there on time. Seago will also be reloaded on time. There shouldn't be a way for Fame to win this. I want to see Storm. I want to see Storm as we pass by the Ondrax wreckage, the mouse and A6. I want to see if he actually got ammo right.
See how far he's...
I want to see it.
We can actually, we can probably have a look at the wreckage at the rails.
Now I need to swing
So,
the camera the other way around.
A5 is what we want to look at right now.
I want to see Storm.
Just where Storm is, so we can have a look at the wreckage of the mouse as he's coming over here. But nope, we're going to get the viewpoint of Maresca. We won't get to see that, unfortunately.
We might see it. We might see it now. Yeah, that's
Yeah, you can see the turret popped off the front
yeah,
there.
it's so unlucky. Now Storm needs to be careful because Zed is going to start pinging away with him at heat. There we go. That's just a track shot. Don't use your repair kit just yet, Storm. Please. Seago needs to try and kill Mareshka because Zed can actually kill Storm. Storm's...
It's just such a shame because they don't have the HP to do anything.
Yeah.
Like Maresca could have gone over.
Storm, I mean...
Rammed Storm, held him tracked, and then got shots into him, you know.
Zed is trying to find an angle where he can pen the side of the STRV. Or he might try to kill the RD. I mean, Storm, as soon as Zed gets spotted to go for Seago, Storm should go over and
Just
kill
push
Mareshka.
over Maresca, yeah.
He can even just like normal aim it if he wants to. Now he should.
Yeah.
No, Storm.
Oh!
He needs to go kill. He needs to go kill Storm.
Shotgun. No, Zet gets the kill. Storm's just going to push over. Can he hold him up on the rails? Because that would be hilarious if he was able to trip him.
I don't think he has another
Siege
repair
mode.
kit.
He's tracked. This could be GG. Can you track him again? Huge damage as both of them get the connecting shots. And now, this is actually playing in their advantage.
Yes, it is. They should kill him now. If Zed goes over first,
Zed needs to get speed and go over.
yes.
Far.
Or Zed can still
Oh.
take distance as well. That's the thing.
Oh, wow.
I think
Wow.
Storm needs to get out of siege mode and take distance now. I think he needs to take distance. They can't cap anymore. He knows Zed is going to take this. Going to
It's
take.
got to go far and spot, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this is going to go.
I don't like to play from Storm here.
Can you do this, Fame?
Zed is just going to take distance. Storm needs to get out of there. If he stays like this, he's going to die. He needs to get out of siege and just take distance. He's an STRV. Even if Mareshka gives him one shot, it's better than getting farmed by Zed, which will happen within now and 10 seconds. Storm is going to die here because he's making a mistake.
He's trying to angle between both.
He
Zed.
can't angle against an RU. The RU has heat. He's just going to die. This is like the terrible.
It's hanging out, though. I mean, we've got 50 seconds left.
Zed is an RU with adrenaline rush activated. He will kill him in 20 seconds if he has to. And there
Zed's
we
got
go.
the shot. First one coming in, 298. Reska's not going to pop over. Storm's keeping his side to Zet. Laddie, come on! Zet with the hyper carry.
That's
Maresca
disastrous.
gets the kill, and that shouldn't have gone that way.
That's genuinely, absolutely disastrous.
Like-
that is absolutely terrible.
Here's the thing. Let's look at it a different way.
No,
What?
there's no other way to look
What?
at it. No,
Nah.
we're not going that route because
Nah.
Storm didn't play it correctly from the beginning.
Okay.
Once the cap gets stopped, Storm needs to go back to the forest.
Right.
Once he pushed, that's fine. But then he needs to go towards A6 and make sure that Zed needs to close the distance. It was Fame played it right, but Storm threw it away.
Okay.
That's the thing.
What did you like in that round?
The fact that the mouse got ammo-racked for 2k HP,
Well, what did I was meaning like tactically wise. What did you think went well?
I think Fame didn't have a single foothold in this round until the ammo-racked Hondrax. I mean, what do you want me to
'Cause
say?
it was
the
like, yeah.
ammo-racked, the ammo-racked the mouse.
Because you said, here goes the push, and I was thinking to myself, why are they pushing? And then suddenly it had
They didn't have-
Hondrax
they
down.
didn't
I was like, I can't remember a fight happening south where they had a north where
The
they had the
thing is, they had
advantage.
nothing going for them. They're getting RT'd, they're getting SDRV'd, and then they ammo-racked the mouse, and then it was game over
The
almost.
Ammo-racked Danny as well. Danny got ammo-racked
And
in
then
that fight.
Will not killing Zed as well.
Iron Jesus. Iron Jesus fame. Fame hacks. Fame.
Honestly, they should have lost that round. No matter what happens,
it did look right.
if they don't ammo-rack Ondrax, they never win that. There's no chance if they win that when they ammo-rack. Look at the HP. Ondrax had like 2k when they ammo-racked.
It was, yeah. It was
So,
like
they would
they
never
got one
have won
shot
that.
into him, and we were like, well done, you know, it was a good shot from Raven. And then suddenly, there's a push coming. Ondrax is dead. It's like I was close to like swearing quite loud there at that stage.
Yeah, they should never have won that round.
Let's have a look at the damage on that round. Raven,
Well, he
surprise,
ammo-racked-
surprise.
He
yeah.
ammo-racked the mouse.
Yeah, the shot from him. Storm, I mean, he farmed a truck ton of damage, but yeah, perhaps he should have seen that coming, really. He really should have seen. He knew there was 2 tanks left. He knew that the E50M was keeping him proxy spotted. He knew that then surely the RU was going to go all
Storm
the way
played
around.
out terrible. Genuinely, you cannot excuse when you play it like this.
But here's the thing, once again, how vital has Zet been for Fame? Like, really
well, the
vital
thing
lane
is,
player
as
for
soon
them.
as they leave the cap, Storm, you know, there's this X key on the keyboard. You press it, you go out of siege mode, you run away to the forest. Like, you go to the
Yeah.
forest, you protect Seago. STRVs usually play with either Camonat or binoculars.
Why go so far away from him like that? Yeah.
They stopped the cap. They knew he was going to come. They stopped the cap. He can drive across the A line without ever getting spotted.
And what made it worse is that he tried to shoot at the E50 and missed. So at that point, they knew that the lane had fired at least
The
once,
second
so
thing
Zed
is,
could rush him.
I'm fairly certain he blew his repair kit the first time Zed ammo-racked him. And Zed
As
shot
soon
him
as
the
popped
first
over.
time, he blew his repair kit, which makes it even worse. Because if he didn't, he would have been able to turn, kill Mareshka, and win the round. And I'm sorry, Storm, I like you, but that was not the way it's supposed to be played. That's not, like, up to level.
You could hear the emotion in your voice there during that point. You were not happy. I mean, it's like when people say sometimes it's like a car crash, you're just watching it happen and you can't do anything. You're just like, why? And yeah, even I could start to say, it's like, come on, the RU's going to... It's 2-on-1. If one's proxy spotting you, the other one's going to be moving into position to shoot you.
Well, it is where we are. 4-1 match point.
4-1 match point. It could be another 3-map match. Prokhorovka second round. Let's have a look at these lineups and see, is this going to be Fame's night? Can Fame get into Gold Series? with 3 maps.
Same lineup from Gunrunners as they used against the Wild Bunch, so perhaps a similar start. Double 113 STRV, bad shots from Fame. Might be something slightly aggressive even coming out with that lineup.
Possibly. I mean, when Fame were playing Infinite, when it was 4-0, Fame cap rushed, and that was Muravanka. Gunrunners against Wild Bunch didn't do any shenanigans, but they won 5-1. I mean, if Fame were to win 5-0, 5-1, that's decent. That's decent. I mean, you can't say it's not well earned. Although you can argue that some rounds are handed to them.
Well, it should be 3-2 right now. 4-1, not correct score.
Yeah. It should have been shoulda, woulda, coulda, as Mojo would like to say, or coulda, woulda, shoulda, even. Better be careful we don't wake him up. Sorry, mate.
I already hit him a few times.
He hates that. Don't do that. Don't do that. He's sleeping. He's had a hard couple of weeks.
I can't stand that last round, honestly. I can't get over it. I honestly, genuinely can't get over it.
The one that still got me was the fast cap.
It genuinely triggers me how that last round was played out. For one, because the positioning, they would never have won that in a million years. If they counter pushed like that over, every single one of them would have died. Every single one of them would have been dead. Hands down to the wire. They would have been dead. If they tried to cap, they would have all have died. Same thing, again.
I mean, an ammo rack.
And then Storm, to add insult to injury, Storm decides to sit there and be like, God,
he's like, I'm not going to move because E50 is going to get me. And it's like, well, you've got the RU that just killed your artillery.
I can't get over it.
It's not like the RU is going to go into the cap.
And then Zet surviving on 17 HP.
Zet's been playing brilliantly. Zet's been carrying this one. I mean, previously it was Zet and Joshua carrying, but this one, Joshua's not been doing so great, but Zet's still surviving. So many times he's been vital at the end of matches. So many times he's survived and been vital for the team. So a really, really good light player.
If I see another mouse Amarak, I'm walking away. That's a promise.
Heads it off. If I see cap rush, I'm done. But let's find out how's it going to go. The teams are ready. Let's jump into the battle here on Prokhorovka. We're going to see Fame on the red side attacking. We're going to see Gunrunners on the blue side. No, sorry, Gunrunners attacking. We're going to see Fame defending. And well, can Fame hold out 10 minutes? And then they're in gold series.
What is my next map again after Prokhorovka?
Ghost Town, then Ghost Town.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Ghost Town, and then it was Ghost Town for the tiebreaker as well.
So standards, well, no, it's actually super aggressive from Fame, and it could work. Raven's already going super aggressive over there to spot, or even just blind play. It looks like a complete blind play coming out from Fame. Raven, if he gets over there, gets in the right position, he can farm those 113s, but it seems like he's just spotting with the STRV right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing. They just need to be careful because it's very, very, very hard split right now. If you look at the positioning from Fame on both sides, it is a very, very hard split.
It's going to be very easy to isolate them. Interesting thing here as well is that you can get a feeling that perhaps Fame smell blood, that Fame want to, close this one out quickly. It's there, it's within grasp, Just one more round is all they need. Not one more match, not one more map, just one round. But we've seen this with teams throughout the season, and this would be quite embarrassing if they were to lose a 4-1 lead. It would not go down well for them. Pretty sure they would never be allowed to forget it.
Yeah, pretty sure half of them wouldn't be Fame anymore after either.
All of them wouldn't be Fame anymore. Yeah, I mean, how cautious or how aggressive are they going to be? How much are they just going to say,
if they push right
let's go,
up,
boys?
Let's say if Fame would do the most risky play I can imagine right now, which is to push straight over the center of the map with 3 bad shots and the 2 113s, this game is over.
I think that might happen depending where Creator... nope, they're going far. They're going 1-2. I'm going to go back
Even
up
if they take 1-2 line, the game's over.
Uh-oh, Zet's in trouble. If they lose Zet early, that can be really bad. He actually
Well,
gets
now Fame needs to
wrecked
make
there.
a commitment because honestly, if these 113s survive now, it's game over. So they have to push up and over, and it's going to be a counter push.
They're doing it exactly as you said. Enrico taking damage already. Freedom's going to come over and clip out into the side of him. He's actually choosing to go for Storm and Will instead. So that means Enrico's going to turn and get shots in. Freedom shouldn't have stopped there because he should have known. Crossfire's going to come back in the middle. He's getting focused out now. He gets dropped as well. There's damage going to Will, Storm, and Enrico. Fame are not focusing targets. Another ammo rack as Crater gets the kill there onto Will. Storm's taking a huge amount of damage here. So they've lost 2 1-1-3s, but look at all the damage Fame have taken. They just haven't focused tanks down. That's been their biggest problem right now in this fight.
The biggest difference right now, I'd say, is Unji's is in the STRV, not Storm, and Unji is going to farm them from the side. At least he should. They get Enrico. It's a 4v4. Yes, Fame has some more HP. Fame has also no RT, so they have combat tanks. But if Seago can get a shot on these 113s from behind, then it's also game over for them. And they're actually showing ass towards them. If Seago lines it up, somebody's going to hurt.
Coming in, 4-3-2, coming in diagonal there. So it looks like it came in from Unji there, but they don't quite have the angle onto Unji or Seago yet, so they are safe at the moment. They need to push the advantage. Danny's going to try and run over. Nope, he's running away. All the HP still on Gunrunners at the moment. None of their tanks have taken damage, but Fame, I mean, they have armor to get through. That's the problem.
Now Fame needs to peek up and over and trying to make some plays because they have only a limited window where RT's not doing anything.
Cyan takes damage here, doesn't get a shot connection back on himself. He's pushing aggressive into Ondrax. Look at Ondrax is in a reload. Reska's coming over. Raven stopped on the rails so he can get shot in the side. Bad play there. That wasn't really good. He must have known tanks were to his right-hand side there. That did not go well for him at all. Maresca and Cyan are going to take down Maresca. Can he run away and get safe? I mean, it's still possible. Or can he even drop Danny, actually? Because that'll be vital. If they can do that, then it's back to 2-on-3. And once again, it's just like the last round, Daki. It's just like the last round. What can Unji do here? Unji can farm damage and wreck these guys. He is the more experienced player.
He just killed Mareshka, so it's now versus 2 1-1-3s. Unji needs to come closer and spot for Seago. It's 2v2 yet again. He can't let them go. If he lets them get despotted, it's game over. He needs to chase them hard right now, because if they get despotted, they will just take bushes. It's a 113, it's a heavy tank, it can still spot from a bush. These 113s are going to be running as fast as they can everywhere.
Unji is totally going the wrong way as well. They're on the right-hand side.
That's fine. He can just, because it's 113s, he can go straight towards the 6 line, and he can just cut them in half.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Why did he stop on the rails like that in the TD? He was in siege mode on the rails.
Who?
Oh,
Raven.
Yeah.
I think he got tracked by Danny. The second batch shot though really didn't do what he was supposed to do. I think it was Ondrax. He just didn't do it.
And if you're Unji, do you have to assume that they both went to the right-hand side?
Yes. And he's spotted out as well. He knows where Alpha is now.
Why did he shoot?
Yeah, Alpha shot, so he knows where he is. Then he should be able to predict where the second guy
Arte.
is.
See if the Arte comes in, Seagull blind fire.
Well, he knows where Mastura would spot him from, usually. So, there is that.
Oh, nice connection. 516.
Mastura should drop down to not get connected by Artie.
Unji's going to go all the way up now to A5, A6. Try and spot over that way. Seagull's going to move over to the bushes on the 1-2 line. And this is going to be another one that's going to go right to the wire. Is it going to be another one where one team wins due to purely mistakes of the other team?
Probably. But now Marstura, this positioning coming out from him, I don't know if I'm going to like this though, because now Unji should be able to spot him out. Might even give him one on the crossing. Depends on how Jostra plays it now though, because like we drop down just in time, just in the nick of time. But he will still get spotted out too, and then we need to see how Seago plays against this.
Are we going to get a replay of the previous round here?
Well, I don't know if Unji just spotted Marstura yet. He might now. Unji, on your left. Unji. There we go.
Yeah, he's turning. We don't have the overlay to be able to give us 6 cents.
Now, where's Seago aiming? Is Jostra Artie safe here? Might be.
Need to see it from Seago's point of view, from the player cam, really.
Yeah, he is safe.
Shot just went into Seago there from Alpha, but it bounced off him. It didn't pen. The thing is now, this time it's opposite. Fame can run down the clock. Gunrunners have to make the move.
The thing is, Seago can go into the cap. I think Seago should park himself on the cap, and then Unji can control Marstura. But if he has binos, he can also spot out Alpha if he tries to go for the reset and Storm in the cap. You have bushes in the cap, right? Because the cap circles around bushes. He can sit on that one. If he sits in the bushes, then Seago should spot Alpha before it happens. Alpha being a one-shot towards Unji.
Well, the thing is that, I mean, if they can get another shot into Unji as well, I mean, they've already got a nice one into him. The HP there for Unji's not correct on this display, because Unji has taken a shot.
Yeah, it's 1.3.
Oh, there's another one. He took another shot. He hits Mastora. Mastora playing brave here.
Not the worst of trades for Unji. Makes him a 2-shot though.
Oh, careful, Mastora. Careful, careful. That was nicely done, though. That was nicely done. Exactly what he needed. Now Unji's effectively a 2-shot.
Question is, Alpha is going to peek in the middle, and now Unji needs to reposition slightly. He needs to be careful as well. I don't like where he's staying in the same position, because now Mastora can come from behind him, which is probably what he's going to do.
Yep.
If Alpha peeks up, it's going to be
get Unji to turn, but then what can Artie do? Can Artie get the shot? Jostra's going to peek. Will he give his teammate? I mean, it's
the RT will
accuracy from the 113. Oh, he's turning. He's got a shot on. He missed. He's going to push Jostra now. He missed. That was what I was going to say. The 113 at range, not well known for its accuracy, and he missed. That would have been a huge shot if he got one into the side of Unji.
Unji's in trouble again, though, as well.
Jostra's going to come up, proxy him, try and force him to turn. But the thing is, the Seagull could kill Jostra.
Alpha will kill Unji.
Double kill! Jostra got it as well! It's going to be Fame's game! Fame are going to do this! Gunrunners only have Seagull in the cap circle. They can run down the clock. No, they can't. They need to get the spawn Seagull now. Science needs to push into the cap circle quickly.
This game is over. Don't worry about
Seagull
it.
shot, revealed himself, didn't connect. Cyanogen gets the kill, and Fame are going to the gold series. Gunrunners, unlucky.
Another ammo rack!
Another ammo rack everywhere. That was insane because at that point, that tank was one of the two that hadn't taken damage.
It was the correct counterplay, though, to push over the middle when Zed died. I just feel like Ondrax in the later stage of that game did nothing, honestly. I want to see how much damage Ondrax did, because I literally think he was throwing potatoes at them.
I can't believe that, as we said, like, Fame are not focusing tanks. Next minute, one tank's gone out of the fight completely. Like, at that point, the shooting from Fame was rubbish.
Similar situation.
They were spreading the damage across all the tanks.
The shooting from Gunners wasn't that great either, to be honest.
Like, take the gun out of the game. Don't just... I mean, they know that. They all know that. Like, get the gun out, you know? Don't just assume somebody else is going to kill him unless somebody's screaming at you that they've got the kill. Well, there we have it. Fame winning 5-0 against Infinite, now winning 5-1 against Gunrunners. This means Fame, I can't believe I'm saying this, are going to be in Gold Series. Look at the smile from this guy.
I don't care. Honestly, I don't care.
Unbelievable. Gunrunners, unlucky to Gunrunners. They don't keep their spot in Gold Series. Yeah, let's have a look at the stats in that round and see where the damage was won and lost. Unji, top damage.
Unji could have had a little bit better accuracy, though, there.
Not unexpected.
Ondrax with 10 shots, 2.3, not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough. The second clip where he did was nothing. I think that 1 or 2 penetrations, he should have done a lot more. He needed to kill Alpha rushing towards him. Unji needed better accuracy as well. Can't blame anybody else. Seago also should have been able to hit at least one more shot there on the backs of those 113s, because him missing the shot was the sign to push over. As long as he was aiming on them and didn't shoot, they wouldn't have pushed over. Not as soon as he missed, that's the moment he pushed. They needed to make sure that if he shot, he would have hit, because as soon as he missed, they went over and killed.
Yep. Unfortunately, Zet had a really terrible game, got taken out at the start. But again, Jostra played exceptionally well, I'd say, in that round. Did really well. Played himself a lot of time. Artie safe near the end. Didn't overcommit. Didn't push needlessly, and it was.
I think Unji was slow as well. Honestly, Unji, as soon as he killed Mareshka, he needed to go. Like,
just go straight away.
The thing is, if you're playing a 2v1 in tanks, you always need to make sure that you keep track of where both tanks are. You need to control them. He could have pushed towards them, worked with Seago, and it probably would have worked out as well. He probably could have spotted Alpha trying to drive the A-line or Mastura in the bush, for example, and then Seago just supporting him, and he would have won that. But he was slow, really slow. And then in the end, again, same with Storm. Both of their positions were not good. It is obvious that Alpha is going to come from a different direction. Unji should have taken distance, should have even moved towards a bush somewhere and counted on Seago spotting or something, but...
It is what it is, and they make it. Gunrunners sadly don't stay in Gold Series. Prediction for top damage across the match? Crater, maybe?
No clue.
Raven. Wow, that's so Raven. Alpha, second there. 2.4 from Raven this time round. Jostra coming in 4th. Unji coming in 3rd place. That's quite interesting, actually. Maresca, then Storm, then Crater coming in 7th. Raven coming in top and only getting 2 kills, one of them being an ammo rack, so artificially, arguably inflating his damage. If he didn't have that ammo rack, his total damage, he would actually be something like, what, 4th? 5th? Yeah, 2k if he got from the ammo rack.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing, though. We'll never forget this. And if we do, we'll be reminded of it.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
On a daily basis.
I'm pretty sure Jostra is going to be reminding everyone how he is a Gold Series player now and how he fought
Especially
his way
because I
up
predicted
from
Gunrunners to win.
Series. Yes, indeed.
I
That
stick
was
by it.
you said, you know, I'm really sorry, but I think it's going to be Gunrunners. We thought it was going to perhaps be Tiebreaker as well instead. You know,
A lot of close rounds, though, that went one way or another.
Hawkes
3 rounds. If they went
could've.
different, if these 3 rounds went a different way, we'd not be seeing 5-1 right now.
Yeah.
We'd be seeing 4. We'd be seeing 4-2.
let's be honest. Although it's 5-1, they were very, very close rounds.
It could have been
gone
at this
either way.
moment in time. It could have been 4-2 from Gunrunners.
Easily could have gone either way. So the score doesn't necessarily reflect how close the games were. But Hocus Pocus, Famu Focus, they are in the Gold Series. How well will they do next season? Well, that is to be decided. I mean, they'll probably get a baptism of fire from Oops, from Ding, from Go Hard. Probably get spanked all season and come last. But hey, if not, it will be. We'll be happily surprised. You know, it'll be good to be proven wrong. I mean, it's always a tough time for the teams coming up from Silver Series. They always have a tough time.
Exactly.
But well, that's it's going to be a good season next season. That's for sure. Anyhow, that has been a fantastic night. It's been quick matches, which are the exact opposite, as we said, from Season 1, where they were all tiebreakers. Final thoughts before we go, Daki?
GG was close.
GG was close, indeed. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you for, well, Grand Finals, I guess, in May. Thanks very much for watching.